cars feel with the lower tire pressure?
Feels better on the low speed, but not as good on the high speed.
Okay, so we'll leave them where they are.
Yeah.
Just leave them where they are.
Although, the only thing I'm curious, is there a pressure difference between left and right? Okay.
Alright, whenever you want to go out, you put your nets in a
your heads that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How is everyone tonight? I got to start out with the "You Rock" Ticky Tack, man. I see those 10 gifted subs. I heard my OBS go off, and I was like, "What in the world?" And it's Ticky Tack doing what Ticky Tack does, being a cool guy, helping out the channel, helping out all the channels. Good to see you in the house, Ticky Tack. Excellent stuff, guys. Excellent. All right, let's see what we got up in the house tonight. We got K2, keep on trucking. First again, man gets in. That's what I'm saying. Big Jake's Ranch is in the house. Renaissance man, yeah, absolutely, man. We're going to talk about that tonight because it's interesting, right? Damien, our parkour legend, is in the house. Let me know if you've joined the HBA forum about the airplane stuff, man. That's cool stuff. Midnight Newton, good to see you in the house. Not really sure how's everything going with your with your car stuff. I know you're having some trouble there. Pardon me for sneezing, guys. But Midnight Newton, good to see you there. Hope everything's going well for you. Tiki Tack, the legend, obviously in the house. R. Allen is in the house. Angry Casper got a gifted sub. Mister was given a gifted membership. The Farney was gifted a membership. That's awesome. Farney needs to be a member. Eric H., Lauren B., Fredo, Imperious, Togashi, and Wicked Wally were all gifted memberships by the man himself, Tiki Tack. Hoorah, ready to go, Tiki Tack. 13 is in the house. Will is in the house. T.R. Finley in the house. Good to see you. John Deadman's made it over. I was talking to you earlier, and Chip and Flint is clocked in, ready to do some work. Mr. Boulay has the link. I don't know if he's in the house yet, but as soon as he gets in, he'll see it. He's got the link for the for guests to come up when I call for them. But for right now, let's talk about what do we even mean by Renaissance man in modern society, right? Because we basically everywhere I look, I hear people talking about what a man should be, what makes a man. What is a man not? Is a man a simp? Is he not a simp? What is simping? What does it take to be a man in modern society? Fuck if I know, but we're going to talk about it tonight, that's for sure. And the chat, you guys are awesome. As always, you are the key to the show, to be honest with you. And we're going to have some fun. We are going to have some fun tonight. And it's going to be great. Chip and Flint still working, putting in the hours, making that money, man, making that money, stacking cash. That's what you got to do. You got to stack cash. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I assume there are ladies back in the audience. We'll see where this goes. But at the end of the day, the original term Renaissance man was, part of that that culture that existed after the medieval ages, the dark ages, where you were, what's the word I'm looking for here? Men had time on their hands. And rather than lounge about, they learned things, experimented, they became men of the world. They became educated. They wrote sonnets. That's poetry, if you didn't know. They invented things. They engaged in art of various forms, usually painting, but not always. Sculpture was on the table. They engaged in combat, hand-to-hand, armed, unarmed, grappling, wrestling, fist fighting, bare knuckle fighting, actually. A Renaissance man was both a beast of a man, but also highly educated and a deep thinker. I have no idea why in modernity we struggle to be both of these things, but we do for sure. Absolutely. And worse, we have charlatans that pretend to be things they aren't. They're neither Renaissance nor are they men. A modern Renaissance man, I don't know what that is. The whole reason this came up, to be honest with you, is the idea was floated. What do men need to know? What makes a competent man in society, in modern society? Society tells men to be weak, possibly, could be. I don't know, maybe. I don't know, guys. I mean, I struggle with this because on the one hand, on the one hand, I think that our society today lacks motivation to do much more than sit on the couch and play video games. But on the other hand, video games can be beneficial things, tools even. Will, we're going to talk about it tonight, buddy. We may not figure it out, but hopefully we can make some progress. Lauren B, good to see you, and I did call you out for getting that membership, and I'm glad that you got one. You know, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So I've often said that a young man coming up in the world needs to. There's a list in my head of things that men need to know. Young men need to know. They need to be aware of it, right? I don't know if there's such a list for women. I'm not a woman. I don't have girls. I only have boys, boy childs. So I don't know what you would tell a young girl. If somebody wants to help with that, you're welcome to attempt it. However, the list that I have in that my young men attempt to meet is, you know, I think that all young men need to, there's a list of skills, right? That all young men need to be successful in life. Now, these are not set in stone by any means, and they're really not necessarily even rational, but they are part of being well-rounded. Right. So I always say that, you know, a young man needs to be able to build things with his hands. Right. Wood, metal, stone. I don't care. Just be able to build something. Be able to visualize it, make it happen. With plans or without. Learn how to measure. Learn all of that things. You need to be reasonably proficient with tools. You need to know how to sail a boat. You need to know how to drive a power boat. You need to know how to fly an airplane. You need to know how to do your own taxes. You need to know how to write a poem. A young man needs to know how to play poker. A young man needs to know how to play golf, tennis, and pretty much any of the other gentlemanly games that are out of doors for the most part. Although I guess an argument can be made for handball or something like that. You know, young man needs to play an instrument. Guitar is okay, but violin, piano, something more classical that requires thought, practice, dedication. I think that's okay. I'm not sure badminton counts, Chip and Flint, but it's probably close. You need to know those things. Fencing and archery? Yeah, absolutely archery. You need to know how to shoot. You now need to shoot a gun. You need to know how to shoot a handgun, a rifle, and a shotgun. And you really need to know and understand the art of sporting clays, including skeet and trap. If you can, there are deals to be made in all of these places in life. My son's actually taking fencing now. He is. Yeah, that's something he's doing. I think all those things are important, right? The artistic, the physical, the graceful, and the beastly. I think it's all important for young men. And I think if you are well-rounded, then you become a more productive human as well. Damien says, sounds similar to what my granddad used to tell me when I was growing up. Have a well-rounded skill set with a complementary knowledge base, the drive to do what you set your mind to, and be assertive with how you go about moving through life. I like that. I like that. That's really good. Glare 1%er, how do you suggest getting your son to do something that he necessarily doesn't want to do, and you as a father want to push him to do because of what you're saying? Well, first of all, most of the things I'm saying are fun. Driving a powerboat's a pretty fun thing to do. Learning flying airplanes is a pretty fun thing to do. Riding a motorcycle, that's pretty fun. All of those things are fun. Now I have reasons for all of this stuff, right? Like, you never know what's going to happen, right? So first of all, Glare 1%er, I involved my son in the scouting program, in Boy Scouts. He goes camping. He's learning to sail through them. He's already been on he did sea base year before last. He did the Canadian wilderness canoe trip last year. He's doing Philmont hiking this year. He's been around guns since he was 4 years old. I've taught him a lot about shooting. He loves it. He competes for his school in sporting clays. He loves the idea of fencing, so he's taking fencing right now. He loves to read. He plays violin. He plays guitar. He loves to read. He's written poems. Yes, you also must drive a stick shift. Yes. And all of those things. Mr. Boulay coming in with the TTS.
Mr. Boulay and the Department of Numismatics donated $10 super chat. A young man ought to know how to grift. Also, gain a sponsor like Tactical Soap from Grondike Soap Company. Fight feminism as you lather up. Try Tactical Soap today.
That is correct. Please try the Tactical Soap today. But yeah, guys, so Glare 1%, most of the things we're talking about are fun to some degree, but also I've never actually pushed my son from not doing it, if that makes sense, right? Like when my son wrote a poem, I encouraged him to do that. When my son was drawing and painting, I encouraged him to do that. I took a vested interest in his life. Now, I will also say that since I believe, and anyone's welcome to come up here and argue with me about this or challenge my viewpoint, I will send you the link. I don't believe that women have any business educating young humans, male or female, and but especially male. Once they get past the stage of needing their diapers changed and can pee on their own, really men need to take over at that point. Because there's just a way of learning that young men need to learn that you cannot get any other way than if you the only way you can get it is if you actually, and I mean really, are taught by a man. And I'm just, I know that I get pushback on that all the time. I'm okay with the pushback. You're not going to change my mind on this. I have seen way too many, there's way too much evidence that women teaching young men is a poor decision on everyone's part. And that's just my point of view on it. You're not going to change it. And so it's that's just how I feel about it. Or it's not just how I feel about it. It is my entire philosophy. It's where I base most things. And it's really how it just seems to work out best. I've really tried, and even my wife knows. My wife does not attempt to teach my boys anything, right? At all. Like, there's just nothing, right? The skill set just isn't there to teach, right? Nurturing, being understanding, compassionate, and all of that, those are great when you need to heal somebody, when you need to soothe somebody, when you need to reassure somebody. You can't, that's not how men learn. That's not how men learn. Men learn by watching. Men learn by pushing hard against that authority and being put back in their place. No, son. You listen to me. You have to be a cold-hearted bastard at times and watch your kid fail. It's something he really wants to succeed at. You have to literally, as a father, as a teacher, as someone who means well and has the utmost love and concern for my child's well-being, I have to let him fail. Women have a very difficult time doing that in the right mindset. I'm not saying they can't do it. It's the mindset of watching someone that you know is going to crash and burn. You know they're going to crash and burn. You know it. You absolutely fucking know it. And this is one of the reasons. And look, and that's not a failure of women. That's a strength that women have. Women have the strength to heal, to soften blows, to comfort. I don't. I can't do that. Right, Glare 1%er. That's at 100%. The hardest thing as a father is to watch them fail when all you want to do is have them succeed in life. And to stand there and watch it happen. And maybe you might minimize some things, but you have to watch them do it. And you have to watch carefully to see how they handle it. Do they rise, as Will says, and learn from it? Do they collapse into themselves and get, if they collapse into themselves and they get that fear and they get that uncertainty and that doubt, you've got to be there to be, son, I know what you're feeling right now. I know you're feeling like you can't do it. I know you feel beaten. I know all of that. And I'm telling you, get back up. You can do it. I promise you can do it. And even if you can't do it, you have tried. You've done your best. If you've done your best, there's no shame in your game. That's hard. That's very, very hard. I'm just telling you it is. You don't have to believe me. I just promise you it's way hard. It's very, very hard. And yeah, so that's how we build a Renaissance man, I think. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you believe, all of this stuff. And I mean, obviously you've got to, modern children have to understand technology. They have to think on a level above wherever they are right now, whatever level you think they're at, wherever you think their mind is. You have to push them. And when they excel at something, and I don't care if it's something that you don't understand, you don't care. As a father, you're like, man, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. When they excel at something, you back their play. Something else that women have a hard time doing. They don't understand it, so they don't support it. I don't have to understand something to know that my son is good at it. And he wants to do it. So we're going to encourage him to do it as long as it's safe, legal, and there's some benefit to his life. It adds something. Now, does that mean that women aren't there to help? No, obviously not. I'm just a man. I can't speak for the women's side. I can't address that. Now, if we had, if a woman wants to come up, if you want to talk about how you believe that young men and young women should be prepared, how they should be taught in life, if we can have Renaissance women as well as Renaissance men, I'm all ears. Floor is yours. Come on up. We will make that happen right here, right now, today. It'll happen. So it is. TR Finley, it is absolutely important to teach youngsters how to temper their anger and direct it and channel it and let it flow. But stand by, guys. TTS.
Wrongful Rage donated $19.99. Super chat. Sorry about the bad timing last debate. I blame Doobie the Frogman. Better try and lose, than never to try at all. No better lesson than our failures. It's how
we measure our successes. You went past the character limit. I'm sorry that I'll read it though. Mikey Ballray, good evening, young folk. Come on in, Mikey Ball and all of your friends. Come on in. I see you, by the way, Clover Tack, you scalawag. I see you there. I see you. I missed this one. Big Jake's Ranch says, my old man is a retard. Plenty of things he didn't understand that I was good at, yet no encouragement. Yeah, see, that happens sometimes. I can't say that I always make the best choices either. Ms. Chip and Flint's lady is chiming in with, how would you say a man teaches a young girl to be a woman if that is put plainly enough? Well, we all know that for whatever reason, women listen to their dads. I don't know why, but it does. That is the way of it. I don't know because I'm not a girl and I don't have girls. But my guess would be is that young women also want that guidance, that sternness, that whatever word I'm searching for here, that they can't get from their mothers. It's interesting that in our modern society, we think that everyone's looking for approval all the time. But what my son really wants from me is he wants direction. He wants to know whether he did it right or if he did it wrong. And if he did it wrong, he wants to know. He wants to know he did it wrong so that he can do it right. Saying, hey, you almost got it, that's good enough, is not good with that type of human being. You understand? I mean, that's just the way it is. So, hey, Mikey Balls, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I'm sorry, we're talking about Renaissance men tonight, fellas. It sounds like I'm preaching a sermon. I'm really not. I'm just trying. I don't have anyone up here to talk to me right now. Just trying to lay the groundwork of what maybe a modern Renaissance man is. I don't know. We'll see. We'll be okay. But Chip and Flint, I don't know if that helps Mrs. Chip and Flint out, but you're welcome to throw me something back and let me know, and we can go back and forth about it. That will be just fine. Wrongful Rage comes in with, my son loves robots. I know nothing about robots, but I got him a kit to build a toy robot so we could learn it together. My man, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. You don't have to know. You don't have to know. You just have to be, honestly, you just have to be a dad. Let's see. TR Finley is in the house. Ticky Tack. Boys wanting feedback from their fathers, exactly what I was missing from my father. I did well in sports, high rewards, but I didn't care because I didn't have my father's validation. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a tough thing, guys. Michelle is in the house. Michelle, why don't you come up and be a co-host and give us the ladies' opinion, since I happen to know that you have boys and are raising them. So come on up. Yeah, the link is in the mod chat. I sent that to Mr. Boulay right out of the gate. Yeah. I think it's an interesting thing. Hey, Aaron Olinger, good to see you. Hey, thanks for subscribing, my friend, my old pal of mine. Mikey Balls is your friend. Mikey Balls is a cool dude. I tell you what. Alex Summers says, my dad. Oh, Michelle says she'll come up in a minute. Sorry. Where was? Oh yeah, my dad was too busy working to give us a decent living. He'd done some stuff with me, but reality didn't let him do what all he wanted raising us. That is an interesting problem that we have in modern society, and I agree with that. Did you? So just a question to you, Alex Summers. Did you feel like your dad wanted to be involved, and did you spend the time making sure that he understood what you were doing, how you were doing it, where you were doing it, and all of that sort of thing, so that he kind of had that influence in your life? Did your dad have the influence that you needed in your life? And if not, let me know. I'm very curious, very curious. So yeah, I'm very curious about this. I mean, look, guys, this is a great subject, right? It's a great subject, especially right now when we have so much going on. We have so many people who are going nuts. I mean, if you look at this thing that we're finding out about the Las Vegas bombing attempt or whatever it is, that guy, man, his life was a mess, getting a divorce because he was cheating on his wife. He had all kinds of, I mean, he was at one point in time, he was like a super high functioning adult. Something went wrong. My dad likes to yell at people. Lauren B, cutting to the chase, straight out of it with it. All right. So Lauren and Alex both. Let me tell you about my stepdad. I didn't know my dad. My stepdad tried, but we were poor, which meant he worked a lot. And when he wasn't working, he was doing things to attempt to make our life better. Like, for example, he helped various farmers feed their animals, right? So that we could buy the meat cheaper directly from the farmer. He hunted, he fished, he brought that food home and we ate it, right? He did the best that he could. I found my father figures mostly through the church. And so while I'm specifically calling out dads to do it, it could be any male role model in your life. And unfortunately, young men these days are not really taught to seek out male role models. And often when they are told to seek them out, they're not the role models they really need. So we lack those examples in our life. And I think that's an important role. All men, every man listening to this, every I don't know how many of you are teenagers listening to this. I don't know, because I don't poll everybody that comes through the door. I'm not checking IDs or anything, but everyone that's listening, that's a man, you owe it to your community to be a good role model for every single child in the neighborhood. Every single one of them. Like, there's no reason not to be. And if you can't be, if you just physically can't be, at the very least, don't be a jackass that ruins it for everybody. You know, that's it. Raging Patriot, yeah, he was a special forces guy who he was suffering from stuff from shit he had seen on the battlefield. He had enough and chose into his pain. We say we care, but they're still dying. Yes, but he was also cheating on his wife. He had a lot of problems, man. He was not adjusting to being a civilian very well, and unfortunately, that happens far too often. So yeah, he you know, it's an interesting and crazy turn of events. And I know many people like that, unfortunately. CJ Harrower, I am not familiar with you. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome. We're talking about the modern Renaissance man. Michelle, how are you today?
I am hanging in there. How are you?
I'm actually doing pretty well.
Good.
Pretty well, yeah. Pretty well.
I told you I like the new darker setup, right?
You like it? You like
I
it
do.
a lot better? Yeah.
I do like it a lot better.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to hear. Mm-hmm. It's not so much that it's necessarily actually darker. Part of it is I did reposition the lights so that they're no longer focused on the white, right on the white wall and gloss white blinds and reflecting all of the light on the wrong side. Mm-hmm. And I've also I switched my camera lens to the fixed focus lens, and so it doesn't automatically adjust the f-stop. Matter of fact, it can't adjust the f-stops or anything. So it's really been pretty good. Mm-hmm. I think I might want a little more light here and there, but I'm okay with it for right now. I think it looks good, and
it even comes off as even more high definition. Like even your on-air sign, it pops more. So cool. I like it from a purely
all right. Standpoint. Well, we have the Michelle seal of approval. I'll take it. I'll take it every time.
So what were you saying about how like men should be a role model to like all children? I mean, I don't know if really
I think so. Give me 1 second. My son has arrived bearing popcorn.
Hi.
Because it is a show, and therefore there will be at some point I will need popcorn.
Nice. Refreshments, yay!
And obviously, being a good son, he does what I tell him to do.
Right.
But yes, so well, I think that. Well, first of all, I think that all men should be a pillar of their community. I think that all men must be examples for others to follow, whether they want to be or not, at least publicly. Mm-hmm. And I think that to not do so is a failure on your part as a man. But that's just me. I know not everybody agrees with that, and that's okay. While I try to be an example and I try and help people wherever I can. I'm personally a little too closed off, really, to be like, I don't like to know every single one of my neighbors or anything like that. But I help my neighbors however I can.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted you to go into. Like, what does that look like to like, I mean, is this like just minding our manners? Is this like you always put the cart corral in the fucking Well,
I think that it depends on your personality, right? Like okay. We have one of my neighbors is like a really he's the guy who buys a new massive giant animatronic for every holiday.
Oh.
His entire front yard this year for Halloween was like all massive, cool animatronics. Puts on a show for the whole neighborhood. And he's a super nice guy. And now he's not around as much as he was, but like his kid played with my kid. We help them out anytime they need it. If he helps, I know he helps our elderly neighbors out. If they go out of town, he gets their mail. He does all of the things that a man should do in his community. I don't necessarily do a lot of that same kind of stuff. I'm a little bit more closed off, if you would. I'm a little bit more, I'm more of the helpful guy that if you need a tool, I have it. If you need something welded, I'll weld it. If you need your son to understand how his motorcycle works, I'm that guy. So, you have different people have different skill sets, right? If you want someone, if you like, I had this, this has been a couple of years. There was a guy who was just having a hard time in life, and he had like spent all of his money on this boat that was a ripoff, right? He bought the boat. It had a bad transom, and he took it out several times, tried to fix it, couldn't fix it. I offered him a couple. I didn't realize how mentally affected he was.
I see.
So I tried to tell him how to fix it, but he just couldn't. Right. And what I figured out was the best thing I could do was take him fishing. So I was just like, hey man, at that point, I was going every day. I would get up, I went twice a day, and I said, hey man, anytime I'm going on the boat, you're welcome to come with me. I had the same invitation out to a bunch of people. Like, hey man, if you see the boat hooked up and I haven't left yet and you want to go, just say the word or give me a call. And I have had people call me up and say, hey, are you going out tonight? Yep, I'll be on the lake in 20 or 30 minutes. I'll meet you at the ramp. And they'll be sitting there in their car or have gotten dropped off or whatever, and I'll take them out and let them go fishing or whatever. Because it does. And again, I know that this sounds weird coming from me, but it costs nothing to be nice. It literally doesn't cost you a damn thing to be nice. But if you are not nice, it could cost you everything. The one person that could have changed your life the most could look at you and you never know it and that guy think you're a complete asshole that is not worth their time because you did something silly, because you didn't help when you could have. Now that may not be true, right? That guy may not care because he may not care that you help somebody, right?
Right.
But you don't know. When I was a young man, and I was young, I was probably like 23, 24. I was working, I had I don't know if you guys understand this about me, but at one point in time, I was pretty arrogant. I know it's hard to believe. I was pretty fucking arrogant. And when I knew something, to this day, if I know something, I know it. But back then, if I knew it, don't even bother talking to me about it because I fucking know it. And anything you say that doesn't agree with it, you're wrong. It's just the way it was. And I remember I had this phone call one time, and this guy was asking about putting GE70 cams in a 911 turbo motor, and I'm like, well, those are great back in the day. They're made by Jerry Woods Enterprise, and he was the guy back in the day. But technology being what it is, we've come a long damn way, and I just wouldn't. I don't think I would use those. We've been having great luck with whatever we were using at the time, and are making tons of power. And we've taken out a bunch of sets of that very camshaft. And the guy's like, okay, yep, thank you. And I thought I'd done a great job. And my boss came in the next morning, guy who owned the shop. And he said, I said, hey man, I had this guy call and he was talking about, wants a motor done and he wants this camshaft. And I told him, that we could do better with the whatever, I think we were using SC cams at that point. It doesn't matter. And my boss tore me a new ass.
Mhm.
He's like, you don't know who that guy just got off the phone with. That guy could have just gotten off the phone with Jerry Woods, and here you are throwing a legend underneath the fucking bus, you dumb son of a bitch. Right? Like you just don't know. So just be nice. Yes, sir. We understand those are great cams, and we think that we can do a little bit better, but we'll have to look into it and talk to you a little bit more and see, understand, what you got to do. And that taught me every time I've ever fucked up in life, it's taught me a lot. And that really taught me a lot about being very purposeful in how you conduct yourself. And just like I to this day, I still do it. You can see me come on a panel and I'm perfectly nice and I'm having a great time. And then you can watch when I make the decision to be an asshole or not be an asshole. You can literally just you can see it in my face. You can see it in my personality and all of that. And I just feel like that there's always things that you don't know, and what you don't know will usually hurt you. And so I would just always say that, just be nice. And you can kill people with kindness too. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to be a floor mat, right?
Right.
I'm saying that you just be nice. You can be nice while tearing someone apart.
Right.
Just how you do it. I don't know. I went like way down a road there. I don't know if that answered your question. I'm sorry.
Well, I feel like the general point of it was to, like, you have a responsibility to be a good person, to treat people accordingly. And I would definitely agree with that. And I would agree that we would share like that responsibility. I just don't know where the responsibility goes, how it goes from, like, micro to macro, as far as like community and everything like that. Like, obviously you can't be adopting every like needy child, just to be nice.
Right. I mean, a man's got to know his limitations, but if you can't, well, all right, let's just say that you could adopt every child in town, but maybe that's not practical. And first of all, it isn't really keeping in the spirit of helping people be better, right?
I wouldn't think so.
But maybe instead of just writing a check and making everybody's life better, if you were to, and I don't know how you would, I don't know a specific way you could, but maybe do something with just in your community and watch the ripple effect of that. Right. I think that's where I would come at it from, but I'm not necessarily a smart man. So, I mean, there's way smarter people than me out there that think about this all the time. I'm more along the lines of, men have to be involved in their children's lives and in their neighborhoods or communities, however you look at that, right? Like, some people really don't know their neighbors, but they're fantastic in their churches, or they're fantastic in their sports clubs, or they're fantastic in whatever it is, right?
Right.
So, I don't know how that comes off and how you look at that, but
let's try again. So I think what I'm asking is like, where does the responsibility come in compared to like what you want? Like we said, like giving the example of like adopting every kid you see, like, yeah, obviously that's not coming from a good place. I just don't know how much responsibility we have to other people, aside from like the general society standards.
Well, I went down that train. You came in the middle of it.
Oh, did I?
You came in the middle of it. That was the tail of the train when someone asked me, "What if my dad is too busy? What if my dad has to work, 60 hours a week making a living, and he can't be the teacher I need him to be?" And my comment was that, I had that situation, right? I had a stepdad. We were dirt poor. I didn't have the luxury of having my father around or my stepfather around all the time. And I did not And so I'm sure he wanted to be involved more. Although to be fair, my stepfather, when I was young, he didn't know how to be a father. He wasn't ready to be one. He had married into that. He didn't know how to do it. He didn't, it just kind of went from zero to hero, but not quite made it to the hero part, if you understand. And so he was really bad at it, but at least he tried, and he really did try to provide for the family and keep the family together and all of that. But since he wasn't there or couldn't be there, I found my male role models in the church, in my community, and in various places to show me how to be a man, to be a good person. And I think that that's important. And so that led into the subject of, neighbor, as neighbors, if there are kids without fathers in your neighborhood, you should at least attempt to engage them, right? Maybe their mother doesn't want them to. And that's a problem we also have, but I don't know. What do you think? Well, Joe can come up and cross-examine us, by the way. If he wants to come up, that's fine.
He says his cross-examining days are over.
Sorry?
He says his cross-examining days are over.
Oh,
yeah.
That's okay.
But I thought it was excellent.
He must have done something I haven't seen.
Oh, well, we'll discuss it later.
Okay.
Yeah. But going back to the subject, then what should we do about the men that are like blatantly not doing this, just uninvolved as a society? Like, how do we work
Shame
out?
them.
Yeah. How do we work out just shame them? I mean, I don't think that really does much.
Ticky-tack, it's weird how that works out, because when you look at that degenerate party animal, you go, man, I really like everything about this, but that, right? That was actually, I'm going to be honest, my stepfather's entire family, they drank, they were rednecks. Actual rednecks. Redneck. My I consider him my uncle. I'm just going to call him out. One of my uncles shot his brother, another uncle, in the back with rock salt because he was so drunk. Rock salt's an interesting thing, but that's how redneck they were. And looking at that made me never want to be like that. Like never, ever, ever, never, never. Absolutely not. Horrible. Horrible, right? So I don't know if that makes any sense, right? So even the bad can be good, right? It's very interesting about that ticky-tack. I can see that working out that way. But he also showed you the how to work, boating, motorcycles, looking out for your mom. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah. Rock salt is, by the way, for those of you who don't know, rock salt is a shotgun shell that has been taken apart. They literally put rock salt in it and then seal it back up and then shoot dogs, coyotes, that kind of, and other varmints with them, because they don't want to kill it. They just want to drive it away and make it go away. Mm-hmm. And so the rock salt is very much encourages wild animals to go the hell away, and trespassers, right, Will? You don't want to kill them.
Gonna hurt them a little.
But it will literally, you will not be happy.
Will it actually break skin? Does it actually?
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's rock salt. So it's rock.
I didn't know if it powder dusted on the impact or what.
No. So think of have you ever been shot with a BB gun?
Yeah, but that's metal.
Right. So it's like a BB gun, except it's salt,
Sure.
and it hurts.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Like I
bad.
would imagine that
Like
sucks.
literally salt in a wound.
Mm-hmm.
And it will very much discourage varmints for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
it's funny.
it's a very redneck thing. That's what my point was.
I actually have one of the salt like bug killer thingies.
Yeah. Same principle.
Yeah, you can't like spray the pesticide around the birds and stuff like that. So I actually needed something that was more harmless to them.
Right.
And, like that was perfect for it, and it's awesome. And I feel like a badass.
Do you have the laser on it? Though? My kid has the one with the laser on it, and he
No,
goes around trying to snipe flies all the time.
No, I
in
don't
the
have
summer.
laser
That's
on it.
hilarious.
I might upgrade though. I'll put a scope on it.
You got to upgrade.
Yeah.
And keep up with my 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? So you missed the part where I said that I don't believe that once boys especially, but also girls to some degree, once they're out of diapers and they're say 4 or 5 years old, that they need to be taught by men, and women not so much. What do you think about that?
Say the last part one more time.
So once children are out of diapers and out of where they don't need the nurturing aspect so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they need what's the word I'm looking? What's a good word? They need discipline. They need need to learn how to set goals. They need to know where limits are, all that kind of thing. And so I maintain that women just are horrible in it. And by women, by the way, I'm saying that it's like 8 out of 10. An argument can be made for 6 out of 10. But
I don't know. Can't relate. Like I think when you're a mom and you have boy, I'm business. Like I'm the how-to, and
I mentioned rock salt shotgun shells and clover tack pops up.
that was definitely on purpose.
That's funny.
But yeah, I don't know. The dynamic between like mother and son is a bit different, at least for me. Because like my husband is definitely like the more playful parent, and they're always going out doing things together, and I think that's how it should be. And then especially when they're young, I'm like there to clean them up when they get home and make sure that they have table manners and say please and thank you. And but
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so would you say that when it comes to teaching young people, men or women are better at it?
I think some of the best teachers I've personally experienced are men.
Are men?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually did this test a few shows ago. You weren't here, so that's probably lucky on my part. But so I asked the panel, so we had like 4 or 5 people up here, who was the teacher that they remember?
Okay.
And every single one of them said a man. And I think if you went around and said, hey, who was the best teacher you ever had? Who do you remember the most? It would probably be like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. To say, oh, Mr. Whatever, I had biology or chemistry or mathematics or something. Clover tack coming in hot. Damn. I can't believe he said that out loud, but he did. Men are better at everything except childbirth, and the only reason we're not best at that is we can't do it. Damn, son. That's That's awesome. That's cold blooded.
I don't know. I think women tolerate more pain better.
Yeah, maybe,
Mm.
but maybe. And they have to
Um,
put up with men's. There's a plus side to being able to tolerate all that pain.
well, I would actually even make the assertion that women are better at tolerating, whereas men are better at exercising more patience. And I think that actually ties into why men might, make a more impactful teacher for a lot of people. Because when I think of the male teachers I had that I truly liked, they were very, very patient, and they didn't even have to try to be. They just were.
Right. Isn't that like the most frustrating thing about men for a lot of women though, is how patient and how we can just sit there and not be anything for like hours?
Yes, because you can compartmentalize. Like a woman will
We're
be
not
stressed out by the
mad, we're not
conversation,
happy, we're not sad.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that like, because I've actually I've listened to many variants of a speech about how women find that to be the most frustrating and aggravating thing about men is they feel ignored. But the reality is we're just so patient. We're just waiting for you to calm the fuck down, get your head right, and then we can talk. And we do the same thing with other men. When you ever seen men when one guy is just spurging out and we just sit there and watch them? We're just like, whatever. And
yeah, you guys actually kind of will let that dude finish.
It would just be like, and it's I think it comes from a long history of waiting for animals to do shit. And so we just sit there and watch and just, we're just like, okay, we're going to wait 5 hours for this deer to come walking by, and then we're going to kill it. And
who was the older comedian? It was like where he went hunting with his wife, and she was like, "What time did the deer get here?" Like they had it scheduled.
That's great. When are the deer coming by? I got a thing. That's right.
I feel like it was Jeff Foxworthy, right?
How is Crownick getting banned all the time? What did you do?
I saw Imperious get timed out earlier.
Oh, Imperious isn't banned over here. They time him out all the time.
Oh yeah, it was like I thought he had done something actually. Did he not do anything?
No, Raging Patriot does it for fun. It's a game they play. They're just flirting. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Crownick's like, well, I just left another chat I got banned from for saying the exact same thing as everyone else in chat. It pisses me off. Oh, don't cry. It's okay. All right, let's talk about simps, since everybody seems to be on the same page as the other thing. So we had a discussion the other day in a Discord about, hey, what's up, Intel Wild? What's up, buddy? What's up? Raging Patriot says he's a giver. Imperious must be the taker. Somebody's giving it there and somebody's taking it. So there was a discussion the other day in the chat at I'm not going to say where. It's on Discord. And it was about simps. And
did any names come up? No,
sorry?
Did any names come up? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but basically I kind of called the chat on calling everybody a fucking simp. And I'm like, you're not it. Well, first of all, let's define simp, right? Like, I mean, I think obviously we don't have a common definition for it. I mean, my definition for it is a man who is constantly seeking affection from a woman who could give a fuck less.
Okay.
And she may take from him, but she never gives him anything. Right. And they just were basically, they were using the term simp for anyone who like pays for porn, whatever. Anyone who chases women, and I'm like, what? So I have to get into what is the definition? What is in the modern era since last year when we all knew what it was, what the fuck is a simp? And why and if it is a dude that literally is just buying flowers for some girl who throws them in his face, is he truly a simp, or is he just a romantic that wanted to do something nice for a girl that gave a fuck less?
I feel like the frequency makes all of the difference in that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Agree with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to do that 10 times, you're pretty pathetic.
Right, but all right, so let's just, but if you don't know that history, why are you calling that guy a simp?
Oh, because they're, oh, how dare you care about somebody around here?
It's an interesting thing, right?
It really is. How dare you be happy and have hope? Fuck you.
Yeah. It's like, hey, everybody have great relation. Oh, nobody can have a great relationship anymore. Oh, the shit just doesn't happen anymore. There's no such thing as true love anymore, and all this stuff. And holy shit, Clover Tack's alive.
Go.
That's him. I recognize that avatar anywhere.
What's all this fucking I would hope so. What's all this prattle?
I'm just
about?
having fun with you, man.
Fucking prattle. What the fuck?
No. We're going to get called on prattle if we start talking anything about guns. Promise you.
Why is that?
Because Michelle's here. She'll call us on prattling, on gun prattle.
She talked to gun shit the other night.
I did.
Pick on fucking Michelle.
Don't mess with me.
Yeah.
And my pretty blue Glock.
She said she rocked a Glock. I remember that.
I rocked that Glock.
That's right. Yeah.
That's all I got, though.
So
that's all we care about. So, that's it. It works. See?
Clover Tack, I have a question for you. You've been married a while.
No.
You've got a few prizes for your work as a sex scribat. And let me ask you something.
Here we go.
Has sex been the most important part of your relationship?
Fuck no. Fuck no, dude. Come on. Seriously? No. Fuck no. No. The most fun? Maybe. Sometimes.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No.
But important? No.
Most important. Yeah. Okay.
No. I mean, sex don't pay the bills, or fucking change the kids' diapers, or cook fucking dinner, or whatever. Like, doesn't do it. So no, hell no. Where'd that come from?
It seems to be the running theme lately.
Because of society. It's because it's everything.
Yeah, because
self-indulgence.
There's a lot of
instant gratification.
There's basically two sides of the rainbow bridge here. One side says that sex is the most important part of the relationship, and once you let it slide even a little bit, your woman's got out the door, she's leaving you. You might as well just hang it up. Hang up your ball sack.
Maybe if you build a relationship on that, I mean, that could be.
I don't think you can build a relationship on it, but we can get into that later.
Well, let me rephrase. I think maybe if you try to build a relationship on it,
right.
That's what it is. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, do you want to hazard an opinion?
I'll leave this one be.
You're gonna leave this one be? Okay. All right.
Why is that? That's no fun.
Because she's still young. She's not old like us.
Okay, so I don't have anything to do with it.
I like Patrice's point where he asked Patrice O'Neill, have you guys seen Wrongful Rage? Buddy, sorry, man. $9.99 doesn't trigger the TTA. I still need to adjust it. I am so sorry.
Yeah, you also need to set a goal.
I suck at that. I gave you team status so you could.
Oh, I should do that. Oh wait, no, I don't have YouTube status. I don't think. I don't.
I don't know how to do it.
I would need admin on YouTube.
Somebody's gonna have to send me a how-to video.
Okay, I got you.
Um, Wrongful Rage sends in $9.99. A man who gives up dignity for sex that will most likely not pay out. Being affectionate. B, a man white knighting when he shouldn't be involved, not husband. Wife is exempt from both. Okay. We'll get back to that wrongful rage. I like that, but we'll get back to it. The Smoking Patriot, $4.99. Got a couple of chads up in the joint tonight. Sex isn't important in a relationship. If it's regular enough, remove sex abruptly and for a long period of time, then it becomes an issue.
Problem with that statement is regular is fucking subjective. So, so I think that really hurts that statement.
I think
long period is also subjective, and then there's no carve out or room in there for potential exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
There could be extenuating circumstances. You're telling me that if there is a situation where a couple's married for 10, 12, 15 years, something medically goes wrong, medically happens, maybe there's some kind of a severe accident, paralyzation involved, who knows, that the marriage is gone, it's doomed, it's over, it's ruined. No, if you've put in your hard work, and the time that you should fucking be putting into the relationship, no, I mean, it's not a problem. Now, if it is because of feelings or whatever the fuck that sex isn't happening or something like that, then there are other issues, and that's my point with the hard work and everything else. There's other issues in a relationship going on that is the cause of the problems. It's not the sex. The sex is the manifestation of the lack of sex is the manifestation of those pre-existing problems.
Like that. That's pretty good. And I always point out to the fact that, I'm pretty sure my grandparents didn't have sex for like 20 years. They loved each other up till the day he died.
You don't know that though, or do you? Do you know of things going on?
My mom told me a little when I was old. I kind of thought it was, but there's some extenuating circumstances. I kind of go back to Patrice O'Neill's observation that what happened if there's a terrible train wreck, woman lost her pussy. The woman just didn't have a pussy anymore. How does she keep her man?
It just fell out.
Yeah, she just fell out on the ground.
Okay.
They had to sew it shut. It's bleeding all the time.
Oh man.
Whatever it was,
Brutal.
And then in the clip, I wish I had the clip. I don't have the clip, but if I did, it was wonderful. In the clip, the guy, there was women say, "Well, asshole, mouth."
There's other things you can do, right?
Yeah.
So intimate. Let's see. What would be the thing?
Mr. Boulay and the Department of Numismatics donated $10 super chat. She bought a high point. Yeah, that would be a turn off for sure.
If she bought a high point, that would be a turn off for sure.
We don't even see it on your. We don't even see it on your screen, let alone.
Oh, he
You
didn't
don't see it on my screen?
No, you didn't click. You didn't click it. Or at least.
Oh yeah, I haven't yet because I still got his up, but I can. Give me a second.
I thought it at least showed.
I decided that I don't actually want to leave that alone. I'll go ahead and comment. I didn't think it was necessarily appropriate.
Anyway, so and then I'll drop that one in a second too. So and so women are yelling out from and this is a comedian, so he's doing this in front of an audience, and he said and they're saying, mouth, asshole, whatever. And he's like, okay, so you just reduced yourself to a series of holes, right? Nobody said learn to play Xbox better, reading books, learn how to play video games with him, whatever. Tell better stories. And so, and he's like, the point is that women think men only value them for sex. And so that's if they don't have that, what do they really have? And I think that that's a very telling marker on society. Is
sex separate for intimacy for men? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it can be. I think for most men initially, it's definitely
very tight.
I think it's
pretty
different.
tight.
I think it's
Mhm.
different. I think it's different.
Yeah, go into it.
I think it's different.
Okay.
So I think the intimacy for men and women is different. So intimacy for women is very from a this is from a man's perspective. Okay, understand that. Intimacy for a woman is more closely tied to what a man would consider like in the realm of sex and pleasure.
Hold that thought. Give me 1 second. Mods, please stop timing people out unless they're hitting TOS. I don't care what they say. I don't care what John Dedman says. I don't care what anybody says about me or Michelle. Please stop timing people out. Okay? Just stop it. That's not how we do things here. We're not on anybody else. You're not on anybody else's channel. You're on my channel. Unless they're breaking TOS, I don't see anything that Dedman was doing that was breaking TOS. So just stop it.
He can come up here and say it to me though if he wants.
Yeah. I mean, he can come up. And as a matter of fact, I honestly believe that John Dedman, has some problem with Michelle, and that's
Yeah, we can get into it.
fine.
It's fine.
But yeah,
Talk
he
about
should
it.
Michelle about that, not snipe from the chat. Now I would tell him that. So
Yeah.
anyway, meant to.
Well, before Michelle gets into anything with anybody,
Oh no, I'm not getting.
I
Yeah, we're good.
I need to confiscate the 43, please.
Of course.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you, Clover.
You did, fucker. Yeah.
You did.
So-
Even though it's my fucking channel, you old.
Oh
dummy.
yeah, damn it! I forgot about that.
You're
right.
almost as old as me, I think.
Almost. I don't know. Am I? I don't know.
71. Where are you at?
Yeah, we're pretty close. Yeah. I'm an undisclosed number. I'm a leprechaun, dude. I'm like ancient. I'm timeless. Anyway, so yeah, so from a man's perspective, intimacy and sex for women are very close to the same thing, right? The touchy, the feely, the kissy on the neck, the whatever, explicit comments, whatever, right? That sort of thing. Intimacy for a man is the concern over something, the worry, and examples of that would be, you get injured, you have a bad day at work, and also appreciation is rolled into that in a way too. Whereas, I fixed the leaky faucet, or, changed the flat on the car, the flat tire on the car, or, that sort of thing. That's more of the intimacy, I think, for a man.
Okay, Michelle, you wanna weigh in?
So it is the emotional intention is what I'm hearing. If I were to reduce it down to the investment, the worry, the thoughtfulness, and yeah, like.
So let me ask you something, Michelle. You're a woman of reasonable mentality.
Thank you.
And this has actually happened to me in my youth. So I know what happened in the story. I'm just curious what your reaction would be.
Sure.
Now you're married, obviously, but let's just say that you've been dating somebody for a while. You were living together for a week in a row. Dude comes home and he's just like, sits on the couch and say anything, goes to bed, doesn't really talk to you that much, gets up in the morning before you get up, he's gone, he's out the door, comes back, repeat for a week. Where would you be at mentally in that?
Abandoned,
right? I had that same thing happen. I actually ended up having to have a 3-hour fucking conversation to just simply say, I'm working my balls off because we're behind on the fucking bills, and I don't want you to have to pick up more shifts. So I'm working every fucking hour I got. And when I get home, all I want to do is try and calm down before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't want to, fuck you until you can't move. I just don't have the mental headspace for it. That is like we literally did that conversation in 60 seconds or 80 seconds. It took me 3 fucking hours, Michelle. 3 fucking hours.
Well, you had to navigate through her frustration first, most
I
likely.
had to dodge things being thrown at me for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that was a laugh of yeah, okay, I could see that. That was what that laugh said.
But like kind of to like what Clovertac just said, wouldn't intimacy happen prior to what was going on by sharing your intentions? And if your intentions were made clear from the beginning, then they could go forward in accordance to that knowledge rather than making up a story in their head.
But you got to have the time, and from Grid's story, what I got is there was such a conflict with schedule and whatever that there wasn't really even the time to.
Well, he just said we just worked this out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So
we can understand this very simple, right?
Yeah. Well, working it out and then and.
But what I'm saying is the intimacy would have been setting the intentions and expectations.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean, the intimacy still would not happen if this. I mean, the understanding that the intimacy cannot happen and the fact that it's not happening are two different things, right? And
well,
so,
again, I just asked you, can men have sex? Is intimacy and sex separate? You said yes. It's the intention, the emotion, the commitment, the worry. Like, and I agree with you 100%. Like, we're on the same page with that, right? Right? Okay.
I think so.
What Grid told me what happened is that he had an intention that he did not share, and and his partner made up a story about being abandoned. And I said,
so she didn't
that's
know
exactly what I would do. And I'm saying that intimacy would have been prior in expressing your intentions.
Yeah, so she didn't know. Well, I guess I missed that part. So what
Right.
you're saying is she didn't know that you needed to do what you fucking needed to do.
I would, and I'll be honest here, and without going into too much detail, if we're already having arguments about money, it seems obvious that somebody's going to have to pick up more shifts, right? it seems but here's the problem. We've identified one of the problems is that men
just
do things.
Yeah.
We just fucking do it.
Amazing how I read your mind on that, huh? Yeah, men do shit. Men get shit done.
It never occurred, and actually, this was 25 fucking years ago, 26, something like that. It never even occurred to me, Michelle, until you just said it, that I should have told her before all of this that, hey, baby, things are rough right now. I'm gonna pull some more shifts. I love you, but shit's gonna be rough.
This is what I'm doing about it. Yeah, like I'm a good communicator, and even if I can't articulate what is going on,
Michelle, the relationship whisperer.
Yeah, I do still try, to do those check-ins, and if there is a question, I really try to listen out to that person's, because like there's that saying, like we judge ourselves by our intentions and other people's by their actions. It's exactly what happened, and then we add our own intentions onto it, right? And so a responsible partner is a woman, like for men, a responsible emotional partner for men is a woman that will understand that she's going to have to hear out the intentions and not project her own onto a man, because it almost always is worse than what it could be, right? So, and what I'm saying is the emotional intimacy on the man's part that might be lacking is they're quite reactive.
Maturity level might have been lacking, Michelle. Don't give me too much credit.
Well, I mean, we're talking, broad base here, right? In general, how we can help. And I think that, women need to be more open to hearing those conversations early on, and men need to actually start looking at that as intimacy purposefully and expressing their intentions, because like it is okay to tell somebody that you are preventing a problem for them. It is okay to tell them that you're helping them with something that they may not be aware of. It's okay to bring it up and show up for them. Um, and it should be communicated, and it should be appreciated, and it should also be reciprocated.
See how that works, Clover Tag? See?
Well, I
Tell me
know
it
how.
doesn't.
Yeah, I see how it works. But my thing was that, but the lack of the intimacy, right, with that type of a situation, it's really going to curb that, right? And so
Yeah.
where I was going to go is that, okay, we've got an issue, and my wife and I have almost always been like that. We're such different people, so quite often our schedules, even to this day, do not fucking align very much. And so, like, okay, there is a problem, right? That's a problem.
Mhm.
So how do we get around that? How do we rectify this? How do we solve that problem? How do we deal with this, right? And so one of the neat little things, okay, you work all the time this shift, I work all the time this shift, or whatever the case may be. Our paths cross occasionally in the house, coming and going. That's basically it, right? And one of the ways that we solved this, and it even worked with the kiddos growing up, is well, we used blackboards when we first started, and that morphed into, of course, whiteboards became a more popular thing shortly after that. But we had those all over the house. And so you would be somewhere, and all the little things where, and I don't want to say leaving love notes, right? Like that's like this fucking fantasy thing. I definitely wouldn't call things love notes, but occasionally there would be a word of encouragement or something like that. Or it may be something as simple as actual things that fucking needed to be communicated, but because there was just such a rift in scheduling and whatever, that you may forget, or whatever the case may be. So it was little notes like pick up this or and we have that to this fucking day. Like
Mhm.
those whiteboards are still in there, and we don't have no kids at home, and we still use those all the time, all the time. And it's just it's an added form of communication, right? Which also can tie into the intimacy, because that's, for me, part, and I think that may be a common line. The way in which intimacy is expressed, I think, is sent and received differently among the sexes, but the premise of the intimacy, which I think is a certain form of communication, right, is that through line.
Okay. I like that. Well, let's tie this back into the simp thing.
Oh, Lord help us. Men not being men, basically.
I don't know. I have this
They
weird thing
want to be their best friend or some shit. Like, don't work that way.
about
You're not your wife's best fucking friend, and you're not your kid's best fucking friend. So stop. That's not the way this.
it's
Not the
it's
way,
an
not the way
interesting
it's set
thing
up.
to me. It's an interesting thing with this. Well, I have more of an issue with.
And I'm guilty of saying it, right? I'm guilty of saying my wife is definitely a friend. You
Sure.
kind of have to be, right? But, and I'm guilty of saying that just because, especially with the kids gone,
It's
and
easy to
with
say.
the traveling we do and other things. But the fucking truth is, and I'm telling her this now, and I even say that to her on occasion, it's because it's a trope or whatever, right? That's used all the time, and it's not accurate. If it is, you probably don't have a very good relationship.
So this it's been a weird thing lately with literally. It seems like that maybe it's just it's these modern younger dudes and younger women that are constantly calling like everyone a simp, right? Like, guy wants to, guy flirts with a girl. Oh, he's simping. I mean, I have a little bit of fun with people sometimes when I'm like, you're just simping for that chick, man. She's out of your league or whatever. But you don't know.
What's the box mentality? It's the box mentality. That's what that is. Because we get squirreled into boxes. We get, well, it's exactly right. But we get squirreled into boxes all the time. There's this culture of somebody says something or does something, and you have no fucking context at all around what that person just did. You don't know that person. You don't know their life story or anything else, but yet you see them do one little thing or say one little thing, and you put them in a fucking box. And it's fucking stupid. I hate it. I'm guilty of it too. Don't get me wrong. Most of the time, I'm guilty of it in good fun.
Well, men do that. Men compartmentalize and put people into boxes and sort. We're sorters. We sort everything out. So, but I was really interested in Michelle's viewpoint on this because I know that you watch these panels a lot. I know that you're lurking a lot, and you have young sons, which are older than mine, I think. And so you see them dating and that kind of thing, or trying to date. I'm really curious.
He's a stud.
Sorry?
No, my kids are studs. They're doing it.
Okay. All right. So when you were, I just feel like that we've gotten to where basically you see people label other people as simps for even talking to a girl. And they're the same dudes that are whining constantly about how bad the dating world is, how bad how poorly treated they are by women, how women won't even talk to them, and all this other bullshit. And yet, when they see another dude trying to throw a little, a little spin or talk to a girl, it's like, why are you simping for this almost verbatim? Why are you simping for this bitch?
It's copium.
Exactly, dude. It's so much, and it's copium in such an.
And that's anything, right? Well, and that's my point. I mean, you could, you're using the example you're using, but use the example of, the United States is such a horrible place. Then fucking move to some shithole country that sucks ass.
Yeah.
I don't see your ass on a flight. It's cope.
So,
it's
it definitely is. But like,
I'm really curious, Michelle, what your take on this is, because
if we were to logically explore the criticism, okay, and what we just said about like the difference between a romantic gesture and a simp was the frequency of it, right? And also if it was reciprocated properly by the woman, right? You could go super chat and ETHOP $10 1,000 times and get the same result, and that's simping, right? So I think it comes down to if that woman is actually adding value to your life and it is reciprocated. Is that simping? Is it simping if it's mutual?
Can I throw something into the simping?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious Michelle's thought on this too.
Go ahead.
So the way I was raised, guarantee you, as long as I've been married and everything else, it ain't simping over no chick, because it can be a chick young or old or whatever. But I'm walking up to a door. I beat a lady to the door for whatever reason. I open the door and there's a lady behind me. I hold that door. They go through, young, old, whatever the fuck. And oftentimes, even if it's kids, or it can even be a fucking family for that matter. That's my point, is it's not always just but that's not simping, correct? Or is that simping?
No, say it one more time.
Basically holding the door open for people.
Holding the door open for somebody? I mean, do you want to do it?
Honestly, at this point, it's I don't even know. That's that requires some thinking that it's just so ingrained in me that
Sure.
I don't even fucking know at this point.
Okay. So there's a difference, but I do think there's a difference between simping and being polite. Now, a polite social action usually has some sort of like, I don't know, um, like I guess a covert sort of like social contract or something like that. I'm not really sure how to word it, but the point that I'm trying to make is that if you are going to do something polite, it has to come from you, because if you're holding a door open for somebody else, how is she supposed to reciprocate that? How? Like she doesn't know you, she really doesn't owe you anything. If
Right.
you are deciding to do that, and then she might have been on her phone and she did not like say thank you or whatever the case may be, whatever, or somebody criticizes you for that, like you really didn't do anything wrong, and did you really expect anything back, and were you just being polite, and also did you want to do it? Because like if you are doing it because you want to do it, it aligns with your integrity, and you think that that's how men should treat women, I don't think that's simping. I think that's social etiquette. Somebody said the word thank you, it is etiquette. um,
I just do it because I do it at this point. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it's a reactionary. I don't even think about it.
Okay, so now
And I
you're
couldn't even tell
analyzing it.
you.
Now
I
you're
couldn't even
analyzing
tell
it. So what do
you,
you think?
and I couldn't even tell you if it's it because if they even say thank you or whatever. Like I don't give a shit whether they say thank you or not. Quite honestly, I
I
don't
mean, you
think.
could go forward in life and be like, I'm not going to hold one door open for one more woman, and I don't think that makes you a bad guy. And I don't think if you decide that you're going to hold doors
I think it
open for
makes him
every
a
woman
bad
you
guy.
see,
That's rude as fuck.
I don't think I
really?
would not. I don't think I could break the habit at this point. I
Well,
don't.
do you really want to hold it against yourself or the woman because you have a habit?
Well, I'm
Well,
not. I'm
I
not
think
holding it against
it's kind
anything.
of a
I'm just
bad.
bringing that
Yeah,
up
I
because
think
I
it's
hear
kind
that
of
a
a bad
lot.
example. Let me give you a better example.
The simp thing.
Let,
I hear that a lot.
let me throw this example out there. Right. Let's say that let's say that you're out with some of your buddies and bunch of cute girls around. You maybe you go over, talk to her, she smiles at you, whatever. But she's smiling like a bunch of dudes in the bar, right? Are you a simp if you try and talk to that girl, even though she's literally every swinging dick in the house is flirting with her just like you are?
I think everybody's kind of shooting their shot at that point.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You're not being and even if she's responding to the attention of everyone, it doesn't make you a simp, right? As a matter of fact, you got a pretty good set of balls on you if you're doing that, to be honest. Because most dudes will just be like, fuck it. I'm out. Too much comp, too many people. So honestly, if you stay in the game, I think you got a big set of balls on you. All right, how about this one? Some girl I don't know how you know her, whatever. Dude sends her flowers. She kind of shows him a little bit of attention. Maybe they go out once or twice. He can't tell if she's serious or not, so he sends her more flowers, or maybe maybe he ups the ante, throws some chocolates in there, or maybe he just makes a really big date night. Is that being a simp, or is that being a, hey, get the fucking message, I'm into you?
How has she treated him up to this point?
I mean, pretty, cordially, but no commitment or anything, just busy, got a lot of stuff going on. Hear this with nurses a lot, but not. I mean, it's not like she's taking money from him. It's not or anything like that. Just and kind of ambivalent, right? Like she's just not really sure where she's going, what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Think dude's got to up his game? Do you think he just throws it on chill for a little while, see what happens? I don't know.
Okay, so to the female purview, you're actually kind of speaking about pretty privilege in like a really passive way.
It is. No, it's exactly.
Yeah.
Or honestly, it doesn't even have to be pretty privilege, because I've actually seen dudes do this with girls that weren't that pretty, but just
they wanted to get the message.
They were attracted to that person. There was something about that girl that they like. I don't know. I can't explain. I never try and explain other dudes' involvement with women because sometimes it's really stupid, but whatever.
I mean, like I think again in that case, it's going to come down to the frequency and reaction. You know,
Sure.
And do I think the gesture is appropriate? Sure. I really wish that people would stop playing so many games, and just say what they want or how they're feeling, and get on with it and act accordingly, rather than trying these covert manipulative tactics or trying to see what you can get out of somebody. I think that's shit. So.
See,
if somebody is putting themselves out there in a giving kind of way, I appreciate that.
I'm on your side on this one. I think that if a dude is like literally putting himself out there, he steps it up, as long as he's willing to cut bait when it doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because otherwise then it just looks desperate. Then you're kind of simping because you're not getting anything out of it. You're just giving. And like what you were saying, it costs nothing to be nice, but what's nice and simping, and where do we draw the line? And people are going to give you the hard time no matter what. Like, people are assholes. So like I said, you can't be happy. You can't like a girl. It's fucked up.
Right. That's literally the mantra right now, right? Like, like if a girl does, if you don't just like flex your muscle and throw your wallet out and the chick doesn't come running, then fuck that bitch.
I mean,
that's what I get out of this whole deal, right? Like, I mean, if you actually walk over and say, hey, I think you're fucking hot, I want to go out. And, that might be acceptable. But if you're a little more subtle than that, be like, hey, let's go out a few times, spend some time, maybe it takes you a month to convince this chick that you're worth committing to. I mean, honestly, I would be really now, and I'm the worst person in the world to fucking say this, but I'd be really damn concerned if dude just shot his shot and chick was just like, yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, but if you're chasing for a month, what is she doing in that month? Like that's a factor at play as well. That would.
This is
okay. I hate the chasing. Oh my God. All right. Like I really, really resent that women are taught to like be chased. I cannot stand it. I think it's disingenuous, and I really, really wish that women would be more straightforward.
Best conversation on the fucking internet tonight.
Yes. I really wish that women will be far more straightforward about what they want from
wishing that
the man that is like making an offer in particular.
Well, that's what's going to move the conversation forward, right? In the expectations.
Pretty fucking positive that Leonardo da Vinci wrote poems about if women would just say what they fucking mean. Like 200 fucking years ago. Like, I really do. I really believe that we're not going to answer this shit because men have been saying, would you just say what you want for fucking ever, man. But
I'll turn this around and I'll do a what about the men though. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll do the what about the men though, and it's actually going to tie back to what Clover Tack said earlier. Actually, no, it was actually what you said earlier. And I had said you missed out an opportunity to create the emotional intimacy. We actually all miss an opportunity, or most of us do, 95 most likely % of us do, every time that our partner asks us how we're doing. How you doing? How's your day? What's going on? And
Glenn Lawrence is in the house, but not on the panel. Obviously, he doesn't want part of this.
You told me so, Michelle. Shit, what was I saying?
We have an opportunity.
Yes, thank you.
We're doing.
Appreciate you. Yeah, we have an opportunity every single day. Those little micro opportunities of how are you doing to build the intimacy and state your intentions and what they are for that relationship for the day. And I would kind of put it on the guy for like holding that communication to be possible. Do not just pass it off with fine. Like I totally understand that sometimes you may not want to get into like what happened at work, but you are what you do every day, and the intimacy that you create every day, those micro moments create more communication to where she can tell you what's going on. But if you're not having those deep conversations every day and learning more about each other, discovering each other, building with each other, then you can expect that she's not going to feel very open to telling you how, like being that forthcoming. Because again, we've been taught through media, freaking relationships books, all sorts of like really bad advice about being chaste and being elusive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's bullshit.
Okay,
That's one of the best. That is one of the best. What about the Mendos ever?
Thank you.
That
From
was fucking art.
From my perspective here, one thing, and I would wager a lot of men are this way. If I ask that, and you are going to go off into a diatribe of bad day, something, whatever, at some point, and hopefully sooner than later in the conversation, I need to know whether or not I need to fucking go to work and fix whatever the fuck it is, because I am in that mode. I'm a man. I take care of shit. I get shit done. And if I say, how was your day? And you're going to go off into some horrible shit and this broke or that did something, like, and my mind is fixated on how do I fix whatever's fucked up that she's talking about? That's where my mind's going. So like, I need to know early on, like, yeah, I just need to, man, I had a hard day. I just need to vent for a minute or whatever. Okay, great. That's enough. That's all I need. Right. And that disables that fucking, I got to go do man shit switch on me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you listen to the red pill, every woman that a man is interested in is talking to 5 other dudes, which I've actually not found to be the truth. Myself,
I'm sure there are some. I mean, if you live in LA or fucking Las Vegas, I mean, maybe, right? But
no,
around here, I can fucking guarantee you that ain't the case.
I think there are women that work that way for sure. I just don't think it's majority of women.
Clover Tech, I think what I'm hearing you say is that women will have a bad habit of taking advantage of that time to be negative.
What do you mean? Like how they feel, or they've had a bad day?
Exactly. Like you just said, like the bad day, complaining, stuff like that. If she's always taking the opportunity to be negative, then obviously that's going to affect you at some point. You need to know what the heck needs to be handled. But what I'm saying is, what if she just has a really bad habit of being negative whenever you ask her how her day is? And I think that might be where that discernment on picking your partner, and when we talk to younger men, to look for. If you can't have a conversation with a woman without complaining or having them be appreciative for something that you do for them, and it's just fix all my problems, that probably points to how that relationship is going to go in the future. And you need to pay attention to those little things and not be a hero and try to solve everything.
I would agree that you need to pay attention to make sure there's no patterns. Yeah. I would agree. And like, it's not, I'm not saying that with my wife, it's that way. There's good days, there's bad days, there's days that she just wants to vent, there's days that I legit need to fix a fucking issue or take care of something, right? Like it's a variety. I never know if and when I ask. Like I never know what I'm gonna get, right? It's like a box of fucking chocolates. But but yeah, I do agree with you. If it's constantly, she's always focused on the negative that happened that day, or if she's always wanting you to fucking fix something, like come on, like at some point,
and then no appreciation, just here's the next thing to do.
Like at some point, make better decisions in life, right?
Exactly. And also, I do think that sometimes you can build out with somebody else the type of relationship that you want, so long as you can hold steadfast with it and build up good habits around it. So for instance, if you do have a woman who's going to like just sit there and complain every time that you have a conversation with her, then you might want to try to open up the conversation by being appreciative for something that she did, something stupid. Be like, hey, I meant to like toss in that load into the dryer earlier. Thank you so much for doing that. By the way, how what happened with da da da, and you might not get a complaint. And sometimes you have to set them up, not manipulate, but set them up for success.
Glenn Lawrence, welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Oh, just crispy. Another fire joke, by the way.
Well I know.
Is that in your area?
By the way, ZD Den,
About 20
Josie
miles
was
away.
on last night, I believe, or night before last. I mean, she's been on in the last little bit, but
Josie's area is fine. She's fine. I know, like, from where the fires are for her house, she's fine. She's
Glenn's in Josie's closet right now.
exactly in hiding.
with her unmentionables.
Oh, we could mention them, but we won't. No,
What's up, Glim?
Not much. I heard y'all talking about hoes and shit, so I wanted to hop on.
No, we're talking about simps, bro. Simps.
Oh, simps and shit. Just the male version of hoes.
What is a simp?
A simp is a guy that chooses to over invest in a woman that does not value his investment. It's over. It's like it's not an equal exchange in value. And a simp is easily sacrificed. It's like a pawn, right? You could sacrifice the pawn and still be fine, right? But also the most dangerous thing about a pawn is the pawn is the only piece that could turn into a king or the most powerful player on the chessboard. But a simp is basically.
I prefer Mike Ball's. Mikey Ball's definition is perfect.
What is
Sucker
Mikey
idolizing mediocre pussy.
Oh yeah, I mean, but if you're asking like, what behaviors that like what makes a simp? A simp is somebody that's over invested in someone that doesn't value that investment.
Well, by your definition, then that's like half the housewives in the world.
Yeah, and it's okay if housewives are simps.
I mean, no, yeah, if their husbands are simping for the housewives.
Well, no, that's the problem. Most men are simps. Majority of men is simps. It's not simping when you are,
Glenn,
deferring to your
bullfrogging. It's making me crazy.
Oh, sucks.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah, can you? I think you just need to turn on the noise canceling setting.
Go put Kermit back in the fucking cage, dude. Like, holy.
Hi, Cole. Kermit the Frog here.
That was good. Yeah.
Yes, how are you?
It was actually great. That was amazing. Leave it to us. Leave it to us.
Is now off.
Actor.
Or echo cancellation is off.
That's actually good.
And that's actually wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
See how I solve your problems.
Give us another Kermit.
That's why you are.
Stop simping, Michelle.
Yeah, you were getting accused of that earlier. Or I make you simp. I'm not sure how, but I make you simp.
Hi, Cole. Kermit the Frog here.
Wonderful. Beautiful.
That was fucking great, whoever did that.
That was Glenn.
That was me.
That was the actor, man. Of course.
Get in the crystal.
One, how do I simp? I want to hear that.
I want to hear how I make you simp. I'm like, this guy puts me to so much work. Are you crazy?
Like, you don't understand.
I know, you guys don't get it.
Like a slave. Like,
for real.
It's almost like people cannot understand working relationships.
Well, men are supposed to get shit done. If men get shit done that their wives need to be done, that's not fucking simping. That's men getting shit done.
Yeah, there's a difference. Again, it always goes back to you're over investing in an individual or relationship that the person that is in, you're over investing in the relationship where a person doesn't value the investment that you're making. Right?
Yeah, the reverse of this to women are fuckboys.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Like the fuckboy, the women will invest so much in a fuckboy, and the fuckboy just like doesn't care about their investment.
Right. They just enjoy being like used by the fuckboy. So,
well, I brought it up tonight because it seems like that any man who pursues women is labeled a simp, which seems poor form to me.
Well,
yeah,
I think it's the hyperbolic version. It's just the extreme version of anything that you do for a woman that doesn't, that's in good nature or benefits her is simping. Like if you hold the door for a woman, you know, you're a simp.
We were
If
just talking about that.
Right. I
it's
think that
stupid.
too.
You know, the guys that only say that are the guys that don't have women. That they don't have women that even like them, that even acknowledge their existence.
I think too. What leads into the putting people in the simp box too is that I think that there's a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of guys that don't try, but then when they do try, they try too fucking hard. I think. And I
I
think that
agree.
leads into it as well.
Could
Tiki
be.
Tack, hit me up in the Discord. I want that. I want that ad. We got to write that out. That's gonna be a good one. But no, like, so what it is like the guys that they try to like hyper masculine or masculinize themselves by saying like they like okay, so the feminist trope was one of the feminist talking points was never do anything in the express pleasure of a man for a man, right? Men are now doing the same thing by saying basically like if you do anything in the express pleasure for a female, you're a simp. Oh,
It's
you
dude,
bought
it's
your wife
worse than that.
flowers?
Dude, it's worse than that. So I didn't get set off, but I picked a fight in a Discord a little bit earlier this week because they were talking about all the simps in chat, and I'm like, what's a simp? And they were like, well, it's just just hitting on women all the time, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was the world's biggest flirt. Like there was no fucking way I was simping. If anything, I had those chicks rolling. And they loved it. Even if they didn't like, even if there was no way they'd go out with me, they still thought it was fucking funny. So maybe you ought to lighten up. And
But is
it
it
was
hitting?
like this whole discussion about how it became this whole discussion about. I was like, well, where do you draw the line? If a guy's buying a gift for a woman that he likes and wants to show some appreciation that they went out or whatever, is that simping? I don't think so. Now, obviously, if he's being led on, is he a simp or is he being led on? Is he being deceived? Right? If he and we're like, well, guys that pay for porn are simps, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, first of all, paying for porn in this day and age is stupid anyway. I mean,
When it's free at 4K, it's ridiculous. Hold on, let me. Can I address some of the comments?
Yeah. Go
in the
ahead, man.
chat?
Go ahead.
Let's start from the top here. So Glenn is a young man, not a man without steroids. I don't know where that would be brought up at. And does being a weight guy make a difference?
Glenn, I just turned you up a little bit ago.
Okay. I don't understand what the question, but I think you're still a man, even if you're not on steroids. You don't need to be on steroids to be a man. I think that part is,
Mm-hmm.
Now if you're saying that if you're a man and you have low testosterone, are you still a man? Yes, you're just a man with low testosterone.
I think the mentality can exist even though you have low testosterone. I think,
Yeah.
especially if you have built those, if you have built those manly habits early, I think that because I think about the days, right? Think about this. Think about the days because testosterone naturally will drop off. I could think about my grandfather, my great grandfather that were fucking manly fucking men until their 90s, right? They obviously did not have the testosterone they had when they was 20, 30, whatever, right?
But they also
That's crazy how that happens sometimes too.
They built those manly habits early, and it's more than than their actions, their reactions, and everything else being testosterone driven. They're habit driven at that point, I think.
Yeah, but see, like I would say, even a guy in his 90s is probably, like if my grandfather was still alive, he would probably still be producing more testosterone at a higher rate than my dad in his 60s.
Probably, yeah. I would.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would say that the production level does matter in because due to consumption of what we intake. I mean, why do I work with tactical soap? Well, because your skin is your biggest organ. You are putting, soy in your body all the time, whether you know it or not, and it does counteract. But also our activity level is a lot different too. Like,
There's a lot of reasons, right?
there's
But
so many factors that play into it that,
yeah,
it's sad that we do have young men that are on testosterone now in their 20s. I would never advise that 10, 15 years ago to get your levels checked in your 20s. But now we see that there's a need to get your levels checked in your 20s.
dude, I watched my stepdad go from pretty damn strong over the course of about 2 years. You could tell like his testosterone just basically shut down. He got so thin, his arms just like shrunk, dude, like where he had like actual muscle there and it was just gone. But John Dedman, I don't know what you're driving at with the low T and all that. I don't know if you have an axe to grind or something like that, but it is actually a real thing, dude. I've actually got to get my numbers checked. So I don't know what's up.
Just be careful with all of that. That would be my
Yeah.
after my issues last year. I would say be careful with it. That's all that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell everybody this: like, if you are above, if you're in the 400, 500 range, you're fine. Just monitor it. If you start seeing it drop lower than 500, then yeah, I would probably look into some therapy. Anything under 300 is considered low T. You don't want to wait till you get there. Once you get there, the getting it back, there's much more complications and negative effects once you hit that low. But
Glenn, John, Glenn didn't say anything about getting on. You brought that up, bro. Like
let me get this other one.
Testosterone and steroid is like that's
two different things. Yeah, they're two different things. One's naturally produced in your body. Testosterone's naturally produced in your body.
TRT is a legit. TRT is. I mean, as much as I kind of like.
Well, there's things you can do to naturally produce testosterone as well. So
No, you can't naturally. You can produce free range testosterone, right? But once you hit 30, your body starts losing like a percentage of testosterone production per year. So like me, I'm at 40. Well, I've lost 10% of my testosterone production since I was 30.
What I'm saying is there's things you can do to maximize what you can produce, though, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the more you work legs and you work your back in the gym, that's like the most, those are the exercises that release the most amount of testosterone in your body.
Yeah. As much as I enjoyed the testosterone conversation.
I want to move it on to
the subject of tonight. I'm kind of, John, dude, I don't care about, if you got an axe to grind, go on Glenn's channel and you guys can talk about testosterone all night.
Well, I also want to point out, I don't have a woman manager.
Right? What is that?
I have actually my management company, the company that managed me is the Rob company. You can look them up. They're a film production company. That's who manages me. I have a producer that helps produce my YouTube channel, which is different than a manager. She doesn't manage my life. Actually,
yes,
I give her orders.
Somebody, when Jess comes back, tell her she can't post links or anything that looks like a link. Anyway, I'm going to read this. A simp is someone who entertains women by compromising or abandoning their genuine self for a fake self that is only focused on gaining a woman's favor. I mean, that's literally every red pill guy on the planet fakes it till they make it. I mean, the very term "fake it till you make it" is been around longer than I've been alive, and I don't really actually see a problem with it. I would say that that if you are buying into her bullshit and deluding yourself about what she is or what she is going to be, I think that's a problem. I think that's where you get into you're being a simp. But acting like you're something you're not, acting like, is honestly, that's an issue. John Dedman, what's going on?
I just
He's
ignore
been
him.
on stream showing vials, but
Yeah, I have shown my vials of testosterone before. Okay.
So?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
I advocate for men who need to take testosterone to take testosterone. I am not advocating for men who do not need to take testosterone to take testosterone.
Go for a walk, John. He says he's pissing himself off. It's like, go for a fucking walk, dude. Seriously.
yeah, I mean,
Oh my God.
again, it's a legal thing, guys. I mean, it's
almost like it's
a
like this.
medical
You know, women at a certain age, you know, they get, their hormones are unbalanced, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they get on they get their hormones. They get on medication or regimen.
what do you have a problem with, John? John, you have a problem with TRT replacement?
Apparently. I don't, yeah, but that's okay.
Oh, then that's fine if you do. That's fine, but
Then don't do
like
it.
women get their hormones balanced, right? And we advocate for women to get their hormones balanced.
Absolutely. I think my wife's going tomorrow to get her blood tested. Oh, actually,
So why would we advocate for men to get their hormones balanced too?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it not manly to worry about your hormones? Like, fuck your hormones, because real men don't worry about their hormones.
Fuck your feelings and your hormones at the same time.
There you go.
I think that's
funny.
A wise man would actually be concerned about his health and his hormone levels, and he would want to make sure that his hormone levels are in the optimal range so that he could be the most man as he can be, and not have any reason to say that he couldn't do anything because.
Hey, we're getting raided by VO Pod, guys. Look, I'm going to have the last word on this TRT thing. It's a legit thing that helps men, John Dedman. I understand if you disagree with Glenn doing TRT, or even when he was training, doing the massive levels of testosterone and all the other steroids, that's totally cool, dude. You don't have to agree with it. He doesn't do it anymore. I didn't believe he's
Yes, I do. I still run gear.
You still run gear? Do you really? Okay.
Yeah.
If he's running gear, then that's fine. Let him do it. But
I've never ran
like
massive
John Dedman. It's nowhere close at all to the trans argument.
Well, and here's the other thing. I never ran massive amounts. I've always ran a healthy range amount of gear for what I was doing. I never exceeded to the point where
You don't owe anybody an explanation to the medicine that you take at all. I'm going to stop you. No.
I mean, I'm having John, bro.
Just move on.
You got to let this go, dude.
Get back to the steps. I want my stripper. Sorry,
not mentally healthy for you, bro. Welcome to everyone that's come in from VO Pod. Good to see everybody come into the chat. We've been having a great time. We started off talking about what it takes to be a Renaissance man in the modern era. We've been talking a little bit about simps because I had a discussion the other day with some people who basically call any man attempting to attract a woman's attention a simp. I think that's wrong. I think we're doing people an injustice by saying that, because if you can't literally sit there, you literally cannot sit around and talk about how the dating world is so tough, at the same time talking about how men shouldn't be talking to women because they might not reciprocate. Even if they don't reciprocate immediately, sometimes the chase is half the fun. I don't know. You guys it seems like a bunch of nonsense to me. It did in the conversation the other day, and I think we've beaten the issue half to death. But go ahead, Clover.
If it was guaranteed every fucking time, it wouldn't be called fishing. It would be called catching, and it wouldn't be called hunting. It would be called killing. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's all about the chase.
Exactly. It's all about. I mean, it's not all about the chase.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I
Um,
hear you. I hear you.
It's not about the chase
That's where the
every
fun's
time,
at, though, right?
but it is
Part of it.
but to be honest, you're not wrong. The chase is its own reward sometimes. Am I right? I feel like I'm
Well,
right.
that's where the skills get tested, right?
Mm.
That's where the gear can get used, right?
That's where hey, you know what? You figure out that slapping a girl on
Things
the
are
butt and calling
things are
her
learned.
saying, "Hey baby, how about a blowjob?" doesn't
Yeah,
work like you thought it would.
yeah. Things are learned. Yeah, you don't go trying to catch a
You don't.
marlin in the Mississippi River, right? Like you learn things, right? It's like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So but I really have, it's been a good lively discussion so far.
You know what? You know where I think people like misconstrue.
Hold on. I gotta John Deadman. What your brother-in-law takes over the counter is simply, it's not even enough, bro. It's not even enough to be considered TRT therapy.
His arguments
Yeah.
out there are dumb anyway because he said something about shooting up with something to be all muscular and shit. It's no different than
That's
like the trans
see,
agenda. And
that's the
here's the
thing. That's
thing.
a
Let me
horrible
finish.
concept.
Let me. I know it is, and here's why: is you absolutely don't understand because TRT. You can shoot up all the testosterone you want, and without working out, without tons of other things, you're not gonna be Mr. Universe or whatever the fuck with
Yeah.
muscles. TRT is used to treat a wide, very fucking wide range of symptoms that have nothing to do with your body shape and body type and muscles.
It's
Yeah,
true.
actually, testosterone in men combats depression. Most men that have low T struggle
Sleep.
with depression, sleep. Um, a lot of guys that if they just go get their levels checked and they find out like their levels are low, um, and they get their levels back to a healthy range, they don't even have to be on antidepressants, which is a better alternative than being on antidepressants, which fucks up your head long term.
Yeah.
Rather, so it's for mental health as well. Not as not it has nothing to do with physical health.
Lots of reasons. Yeah. Lots
But
of reasons.
let
At
me get back to
any
the simp.
rate,
Consult your doctor.
my point was, John, is that your brother-in-law taking pills over the counter is not the same as Glenn taking a doctor prescribed testosterone replacement therapy. Now, I'm sure that no doctor is prescribing him Tren or whatever else. But I
Well,
believe
no,
he's
not the
using it
train.
under a doctor's care because he's not
I have
stupid.
a coach. I have a coach who is my hormone specialist who monitors my hormone levels as I compete. Like if you actually watch, I actually have the video posted up on my members only um, sector or whatever section, where I actually am talking to my coach on a Zoom call, and we're going over the entire program of what I'm going to be doing, and
Yeah.
I have it monitored. It's verified. I have these things in place for accountability's sake for both, myself and, just showing people how to do it properly, how things are done. I'm not deciding or determining how much, gear I'm going to be running. It's all based on my hormone levels, based off of what the blood work says. So it's done correctly the way that it ought to be done, not the way that the gym bros were doing it back in the early 2000s or the 90s. But
Right.
I
Right.
wanted to get back to the simp talk because
Yeah. Well, I want to address one last thing. Will, you can gain some testosterone by doing man things like working out, eating more meat, and there's some other odds and ends. However, because I had to look into this because I'm old. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm fucking old, and I think I'm okay, but I'm not rebounding from injury like I used to. My especially my hip injury really concerned me about how maybe my levels were a little out of whack, and the amount of muscle I lost in my legs, especially, really bothered me, like a lot. And so I actually have been getting my blood work done. I'm okay. I don't actually need therapy, but I'm monitored all the time. I'm not all the time, but it's like every 8 months, I think I go in, get checked. But
and one more thing, nobody's saying that everyone should be on gear. No one's saying that. I'm saying that if you are being a responsible adult, you will, monitor your hormone levels.
You've said, Glenn, here, consult your doctor. I've said, consult your doctor. Fucking Grid has said, consult your doctor.
I am consulting.
If everybody is saying consult your doctor, then obviously we're not advocating it. We're advocating that everyone that thinks they might have an issue consult their doctor. Yes, fine. But that doesn't mean that anything's going to be found by the doctor they're going to put you on fucking testosterone. So
yeah, I would advocate for you not to get on testosterone without a need for it.
And that's why I'm not.
You need proper trust me when I say you need proper testing.
It's not
all right. Yeah.
If you jump,
guys,
I barely died.
If you jump on it when you don't need it, you could actually fuck your body up really bad. You could shut down your body's natural production of testosterone. Right. And you would end up causing yourself to be completely dependent upon synthetic testosterone and just much worse stuff.
Or in my case, where you don't have the proper testing. It was a fuck up with my testing. So, yeah.
Yeah, that fuck up nearly killed you.
Multiple times, yeah.
Yeah. And
it's all a lie.
Mrs. D.
He doesn't want you to get testosterone. He wants you to stay small.
Yeah, I want you to stay small, weak, effeminate, and I will just take all the testosterone so I can get all the bitches, right? That's where we're going with this?
Yes.
Works for me.
All right. Yeah, Deadman, I don't know what your deal is tonight. I don't know if it's if there's something else behind it, but I don't get it, right? Like if Glenn is using what is prescribed, just whatever. I don't know how you want to say that. He's under the care of a doctor. It's not the same as trying to cut your penis off. Saying that, I can't take you seriously, John, if you're going to say things like that.
So
I just can't.
A benefit of the doubt with John out there is maybe he's heard people that have said bro, you need to get some testosterone as a fucking diss, right? Or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's all that is. That's talking shit, and it's a diss. Yeah.
I want to ask one thing.
I've used it before with people.
I've told guys all the time that you probably get your levels.
I'm not
checked.
serious about it, but necessarily.
Oh, I'm totally serious about it. If I think somebody needs to get their levels checked, I'm like, no, you probably should go get your levels checked.
I actually do have and then I'm only going to ask this one question, and then we'll move on. I have to ask you, Glenn, what do you, and because somebody else brought it up, the chromium picolinate and creatine for bodybuilding on high level.
So creatine is really just like a water retainer. It just retains water. I mean, it's okay. It's good. It's beneficial. I mean, if I would say take glutamine over creatine, at least glutamine helps you with recovery. All creatine does is just kind of like basically just like you just absorb more water. You're just holding more water, so you look fuller. It helps recover a little bit because the more water you have in your muscles, the more like flow of nutrients you'll have in there as well. But I mean, to me, it's not nowhere near as important.
Dye is in the house. We got the actual doc in the house. Sorry about that, Glenn. Can we continue?
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, I would just say creatine is. I don't take creatine. Like I just don't. I don't see the need of it. I haven't never had to add it to my diet or to my supplement intake. Now, glutamine, I do find the use of glutamine. I do find that valuable. But like Creatine, nah. It's just because as soon as you get off of it, you just lose all the water. You lose the size from the water when you deplete your water.
I'm actually on. I have a collagen supplement that I mix
that's
in with
really
my
good too.
pre-workout.
Yeah, that's good. Anything for joints and stuff.
Yeah.
There was this like I forgot what it was. It was called joint juice, right? It was just like this little drink. They used to sell it at like GNC and all those other places. It was really good. I don't know why they stopped selling it. But I started taking this thing called Joint Mobility, and that was from supplement company First Form. And it like after a while you get like tennis elbow when you do a repetitive motion over and over again, and like that will take you out like for days.
Oh yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I would get that a lot when I would go really heavy. And like I'm doing like a 5x5 workout, and like within like a month or two of that that training program, like I wouldn't be able to lift for anything. It would just hurt. Like my elbow will hurt, my wrist will hurt, and so I just started taking joint mobility and just adding that to my and fish oils, adding that to my like regular supplement intake, and that saved me from feeling that pain from like the repetitive motion. So anything with your joints and like as you mentioned,
collagen.
Collagen is really good to add to your supplement intake.
Yeah, so I don't. I have a creatine powder that I can mix in with my pre-workout, but I generally don't. Mainly because I don't believe that I don't think that it really does anything to help rebuild. I think I think I have a whey powder as well that I use that seems to be working better, but who knows?
Well, everybody's body is different too. Like your body will react to supplements differently.
Yeah.
Some supplements you may see a huge positive impact from incorporating this supplement, and then some of them you may not see a big marginal change in the from using that supplement. It still doesn't mean it's not beneficial to you. It still is beneficial to you, but like again, everybody's individualized. Like I'm speaking in a very general sense.
Sure.
And I'm speaking about like my own experience, using these supplements and using different hormones. And I can only share from either the general studies from what I have studied and read upon, and my own experience with them. Besides that's it. And I'm only specifically talking about my body size itself. I don't know what it would like to be if I was a guy that was a hard gainer that had a hard time putting on weight. I don't know that struggle. I wouldn't know what supplements or hormone levels to even advocate for him because I
don't have any problem with water, with holding water or any of that kind of stuff. I don't think creatine helps. I think the collagen actually helps me a lot because of my left leg, but even that's getting to the point where the leg doesn't bother me at all. It's now it's just what's really annoying me right now is just a muscle loss that I went through. And so I'm just trying to get back to kind of where I was. So, you know how it is.
I hear that.
So, I didn't really want to kind of go down this.
Chris, creatine doesn't. So the gains that are made on creatine do not sustain. They're not lasting. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you will notice gains. You will get size. You will grow, but the size will not stay afterwards after you stop taking the supplement. Now, let's say you ran like testosterone or some other hormone, right? Now you will lose about 25 to 35% of the size you developed if you stop taking it, but it's better than the 50 to 75% of the size that you would gain from creatine. That's why I'm saying it's not like necessarily long lasting. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like
I'm gonna let this one go on ticky tack because John Dedman's managed to divert the entire stream into this bullshit, which is not totally bullshit, Glenn. It's not your fault. It's just it's not doesn't have anything to do with what we were talking about earlier.
I want to get back to the simps.
Yeah, well, I want to move on from the simp. We beat the simps enough that we were beating. We were smacking simps around for an hour before you got here. So
They're so fun to abuse.
yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But we can move on from that. But if you would go ahead and help Ticky Tack out here. He says, Glenn, how are you or plan to manage blood thinners and hormones?
That's a good question. So that was something I spoke to my coach about when we were discussing this. We're going to attack it on multiple fronts. So one of the fronts is going to be diet and nutrition. The food, we're going to make sure that I'm taking or intaking, foods that are going to be lighter in sense. That's going to help benefit. Also, I'm going to be upping my B12 and vitamin D. B12 really helps out with keeping your blood thin, as well as I'm going to be doing like donating blood regularly again. That was something I stopped doing this past year when I moved back from Vegas to LA. I think I only donated blood in 2023. I think like maybe 2 or 3 times. Usually I donate blood about 6 to 9 times a year, either every other month or every month or something like that. And then I'll skip a few months, whatever. But I definitely didn't donate as much blood as I normally did. And that actually will increase by not donating blood that you have like you're running gear or anything. That will increase your red blood cell count, increase your hemoglobin. So once your hemoglobin's over 50, then you run the risk of stroke. Normally I have always kept my donations like every other month. So that was probably a factor that played a role into why I had the embolism as well. Doesn't mean that's why I got the blood clot, but it's definitely why I probably end up having the embolism because I didn't donate blood as much as I used to. So that's how I'm going to attack it, Tiki Tack. I'm going to attack it by making sure I donate the blood, making sure that my supplement intake is going to be beneficial to thinning out the blood. The only thing I have to be concerned about while being on blood thinners is like not, getting any contusions or any serious tears while training, because then I have to worry about blood pooling and stuff like that. But as long as I approach it, the lifting aspect, not like a klutz, I should be fine.
All righty, Rudy.
You know what you need to do, Grid?
What's that?
I've got the prescription for you.
More shooting.
More running stages, less sitting in a fucking chair live streaming.
Unfortunately, for everyone, fortunately for everyone, all the matches are on my off time, so I get to do both. I get to go run stages, and then I get to come here at night and yell at people.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, how I don't know how the hell we got so far fucking afield, but that's okay. It's cool. It's cool. Arthur Dye, good to see you back in the chat. It's been a minute. I saw you in here for a few minutes the other night, but
our favorite non-gun owning feminist doctor.
We don't know that she's still non-gun owning. She does live in Florida. She can buy one anytime.
I'd almost be willing to bet a gun on that.
So could be. Yeah, I think you're right, though. I was just giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen who have stayed with us this entire time and are really enjoying the show.
Is this a part of the show? Is this a part of the show where fucking Michelle can talk again?
I would actually
prattle. Holy,
we're trying to get Arthur Daya up here.
Oh,
and Michelle and us men will sit back. I've got popcorn.
How do we start a cat fight?
I don't know. I don't think we can. Michelle's way too laid back for that. But it's okay.
It's pretty difficult to.
Arthur Daya, you let me down.
There you go. Well, then my money in the cat fight is on Michelle because I know she owns a Glock 43. So
there you go. I'm a safe bet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I know. I like Arthur too. It would take quite a lot to trigger me to like engage in arguing with her. Quite a lot.
It doesn't take me anything at all.
Yeah, no, you're down for it. You like it.
Well, I like fighting.
You
I
know, you
like
should give
fighting.
me the popcorn and I'll stick you on her.
No, that's okay. She isn't being feminine. She's not being feminist tonight.
Arthur Dye came up with an amazing skit
Oh,
for
she
me.
did.
So she is a-okay in my book. I'm still
Did I
waiting
miss
on those
something? What
cookies
happened?
though. I'm still waiting on those cookies, Arthur Dye.
What happened?
Um,
What am
She
I?
gave
What
us
did
a
I miss?
really great skit idea. Absolutely fabulous. And then Glenn and I really rolled
Oh,
with it when
skit
we were,
idea.
yeah,
Okay.
we were discussing it and like we were cracking up because it was so funny with what we were coming
it
up
was
with off this. Oh my God.
she came up with it was so perfect the way that she brought it up too.
Yeah.
Like the way that she explained it so detailed, and it was just there's so many punchlines that
So
just
many.
come up out of it.
I know.
It
It
was
was so
perfect.
good. It flowed. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
Awesome.
We have really
Very good.
fun skits and videos coming out soon, guys.
So
Oh yeah.
I actually kind of to go into the Renaissance man. Let's talk about the opposite of the Renaissance man. The
The
male.
modern man.
The male. Well, that's what we're talking about is modern versions of Renaissance men. But the male feminist. Can we talk about the male feminist?
I'm all
I'm not
over it,
even.
bud.
I'm not even sure what that is, to be honest.
Oh,
With
that is
Well,
the nice guy. You heard of the nice guy, right?
yeah. It's the most dangerous guy. It's the most
Mhm.
dangerous archetype of men. Is the male feminist.
Something.
you. Like, draw me a
Well,
picture.
okay, so the
I
guy
think
is
Michelle draws a better picture of this, Glenn. I'm just
okay.
Just-
Be my guest.
Yeah, let Michelle talk, fucker. She's been sitting there quiet through all the
You know what?
testosterone,
Women, I
fucking
thought that
working
women were supposed
out,
to be
buffing
silent.
up,
I
and
thought
seeing your
Renaissance
doctor.
men.
Yeah.
I thought Renaissance men knew
Sit
that women
down.
were supposed
Let
to
her
be
talk.
silent.
Fuck, I'm simping for Michelle now. Sit the fuck down and let Michelle talk.
damn.
I
Oh,
started
man.
shit. I did it. I did it just by being me. Okay.
Oh, shit.
What is a nice guy? I'll give you like a micro example of it. But typically, a nice guy is somebody who's very manipulative and they have really bad habits. They might have a cluster B sort of personality. What I mean by this is they will take really manipulative and abusive tactics, basically to get what they want. When they don't get what they want, that's when the nice guy kind of flips on you. So, like a micro example of this is the guy who asked for something who's not really asking. Okay. Like, can I get a shoulder rub? And then if I say, my hand, I hurt my hand today. Like, I don't think I can actually put that on my skin right now, or whatever it is, right? Some sort of excuse is made, and it then is made evidently clear that they were not actually asking you a question, and you can tell that by their reaction. It might look like you don't ever want to touch me, or whatever the case may be. Either way, there is a aggressive sort of action, and the expectation that all requests should be followed just because they asked, and they are the nice guy. They are the most entitled, insidious sort of people. And there are like the archetype nice, I'm going to say this wrong. The nice guy archetype, when it transfers to a woman, is like that very manipulative woman, like think of like the most entitled woman. They are just far less covert and they are far more mean right up front. So when we go
That
back
just
to the
sounds
nice
like-
guy,
Oh,
No,
I
go ahead.
was going to interject that just sounds like a really immature fucking attitude to me.
Yeah.
and it's going to have a lot, and totally it will have he will definitely have an immature attitude, but he's going to have very bad habits, very bad relationship habits, zero negotiation skills, and he's going to be
He's going to be
very
horrible at. He's going to be very covert.
exactly.
And obviously no frame or presence if like if
PTS coming
woman's
in.
turning him down.
Stand by.
Wrongful Rage donated $19.99. Super chat. Made a man simp, just to let a lady speak. Shame, shame, shame. Never the nice man, the kind man. Nicer they are, the more you push, the more they give. Push a kind
man, and you'll find where kindness ends. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, like I say that the male feminist or the nice guy, most dangerous guy in archetype because he has covert contracts with these people that he interacts with. In his head, he's like, if I do this for her, she in return will do X for me. And then when X doesn't happen, he flips out.
Mm-hmm.
But like there was no discussion, there was no acknowledgement that she was obligated or she agreed to doing whatever he expected her to do. It's like the guy that plays the best friend role. He's the shoulder that she cries on when he really wants to be the dick that she rides on. And it's like, you know, she comes to him and complains to him about all the boyfriends that aren't, you know, the guy that she dated that doesn't treat her well, but that she gets back with, you know, like he's the male best friend that wishes he was the man, like the boyfriend. And she doesn't see him as anything other than like a little brother or something like that. But he only stays around because he covertly thinks that eventually he will win her over. And when that doesn't happen, he, you know, is resentful. He lashes out, and he changes. And it's the guy that doesn't speak up in the beginning, that doesn't set boundaries, and then waits until later into the relationship when she is like invested, and then all of a sudden starts complaining about her clothing, you know, or her friends. It's like this. None of this stuff was ever mentioned before. And then all of a sudden now, months or years later, now it's a problem for him when he never had an issue with it.
Well, that's really interesting. Clover, you want to take a shot at the male feminist before I define male feminist? Or?
Me, I was asking because I don't even fucking know. Like I would say one that like is, you know, my idea when I hear the word male feminist, I just think of, you know, equality, you know, women on a pedestal, they shouldn't have to take accountability for anything, world on a fucking platter, you know, that sort of mentality, right?
I mean, you're not far off.
I can't relate.
You're not far off from that. All of the men that I have seen that I would call a male feminist, they all tend to be like, well, first of all, they're fake as fuck. They literally will say anything that they think a woman wants to hear to get them in the sack. And most of the time it doesn't work, but they keep saying it anyway. You call them soy boys and things like that. But the reality is they've done it for so long. They've just been yes men to women for so long. They don't know anything else. They really don't.
Well, it's because they have to bring other value to the table because they can't attract women on their own value.
Well,
right? You know,
they attract women, but only because they agree with the women.
Yeah, that's the added value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the woman doesn't just like them because of them.
Right.
You know, they have to have this added value.
They repulse most women. Most women, when they get around them, they're like, yeah, there's something wrong with that dude. But
most women do not like male feminists.
Sorry?
Most women do not like male feminists. they appreciate their advocacy. They
Right.
see them as useful, but they don't want to be with them.
Well, what Michelle's description, what stuck out to me with that, the whole shoulder rub thing or whatever, was the
Jessica throws it down. There's a straight version of the gay best friend.
that makes sense.
Facts. That was perfect.
That is fucking intelligent, Jessica. I like that a lot. I'm not familiar with Jessica B. Does anybody know her? I don't know who that is.
Whoever she is, she's smart.
Hell yeah. You deserve to be here. Will, it's not being pussy whipped though, because they often don't get pussy. And if they do get pussy, it's
Well, actually, it is pussy whipped. They're whipped by pussy that they never fucked yet. You know, so
right,
they're
right.
whipped. You know what I'm saying? They're whipped. They're whipped in the fact that they have not yet conquered that, and
they're whipped by pussy, not whipping that pussy. So
that's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. There you go.
No, what Michelle said is so it's the overt nature of an expectation, right? And like asking for shit when the dynamic should be more along the lines of I'm gonna do man shit and I'm not gonna fucking ask you for a shoulder rub, but because I do my man shit, you're gonna see yourself that I deserve a shoulder rub. And at such time that you don't have some kind of in your example, Michelle, where there was some kind of a medical or some kind of a problem where you couldn't do that, right? Like there was a legitimate reason. At such time, you will spontaneously give me the fucking shoulder rub. Well, that's the way it should be.
What
Okay,
it is
so
a
hold
guy
on.
should be.
Do you mind if I go on?
Go ahead, please.
Okay,
Please.
thank you. Yeah, the thing of it is that usually the like you said, like, oh, you told her that she was going to want to give you a shoulder rub. If you are instigating the want, then that's fine. However, the want still has to be.
What do you mean? I'm instigating the want?
No, I said if you actually are instigating a want, okay,
right, and I'm not saying that's the case, right?
Right. So
that's
let's say
your description, right?
Well, no, because like you said, I'm instigating the want, and you did say that she was.
No, but I'm not through my words,
right?
But
and
simply from the fact that I'm doing my man shit, she appreciates the man shit.
Yes.
She wants to give me the back rub. So at such time she has the health capability or time or whatever it is,
Correct.
she will give me the back the shoulder rub.
We completely agree with that. We completely agree with that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that because you have instigated the desire that it is different, that makes you not a nice guy. Actually, the nice guy can't even do that. The nice guy is making a demand that is not negotiable, and then is aggressive or abusive or whatever the case may be after the fact when they do not get their way. Now, if you do always agree with the nice guy and give the nice guy what they want, they stay the nice guy. That's kind of the point. The point is when the mask comes off, who are they?
As long as you feed the beast, right?
Exactly. That's the nice guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but nice guy's not a male feminist, though. A male feminist will sit there and no matter what,
a male feminist genuine at all?
Yeah, there's nothing genuine. Well, I actually,
no.
I think I used to agree with you, but I have now met enough men who through either just they've done it so long it's seeped into their brain, or they truly believe that, you know, and all the bullshit that they talk about, and I mean it can be stuff like, they'll agree on abortion issues. They'll agree on women's DEI initiatives, that kind of thing. They'll literally talk to other men in a way that's meant to shame them, because how can you not?
Right. Why?
How can
Why
you
are
not?
they doing it?
Well, I used to
It's
think it
their
was
sexual
driven by
mating
pussy,
strategy.
but now I don't know that it's 100% driven by pussy.
I think it's always at the end of the day their sexual mating strategy. I think it's an additive to help increase their appeal to women.
The marketplace,
And
The
their
point,
social proof potentially.
the point
Well, it
of the
just
archetype is the manipulation, right?
mm-hmm.
It is, yeah, of course they're going to go for abortion. They have to be the nice guy. That's the nice guy part, right?
Right.
Okay. Now I just said, is it genuine? Is it in everybody's best interest for that to happen, in your opinion? For, like, I don't know, legal abortion, free abortion, whatever the fuck. I know it's not. Okay. It was a rhetorical question. So if they are siding with that and they are working against themselves for the benefit of women to like them, that is literally the nice guy. It isn't genuine. It is literally the manipulative, disingenuous guy.
There's some chatter in the chat about the whole term "nice guy,"
Mhm.
and I mean we agree there's a difference between nice and kind, correct? And I think often
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's a
changed.
book.
I think we're identifying it as an archetype, not it's a set of qualities, not just
There's
you can
a
be a
good book
nice
for
guy and
people to
not be a
read.
male feminist, right?
Yeah,
Well, you can be kind and not be, you can be kind and be kind of an asshole at the same time.
I would
Well, yeah,
propose that
being
feminism
kind.
is a tool the nice guy uses.
Yeah, there's a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. I think it's by Dr. Something Glover. I encourage guys to read that. And another book to read is Why Do I Feel Guilty When I Say No? That's another good book to read. Both of those books were very, very helpful for me to understand where I was, not intentionally being a nice guy, but being a nice guy. And then why I was feeling guilty when I was not trying to be a people pleaser. Like, and in doing so, understanding like these reasons why we behave this way kind of helps us adjust and recalibrate our interactions with people. Not saying that you can't be nice at all. You can be nice to people, and you could be a nice guy, but it's under very certain like reasons. There's a lot of context involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a term "nice guy" that is kind of throwing it off. But I don't disagree that that's kind of how women view them, right?
Well, a nice guy is going to be the guy that, again, this is why it's so common to align nice guy with simp, is because a nice guy is going to extend himself beyond like what he would normally do. And just like the simp will be over invested in someone, more than the person is invested in them, in hopes for a specific outcome. Same thing with the nice guy. The nice guy's going to overextend himself in hopes for a specific outcome. So, I mean, ultimately, it's really not because they're just a nice person in general. They're doing it with the ulterior motive, or like hoping that they're going to be reciprocated somehow. And usually, it's when it comes to women, it's for sexual, access.
And then what happens if they don't? If they don't get the reciprocation, what happens?
Then they become a very dangerous person.
I think we agree completely.
So how does that tie into the whole narcissist thing?
I believe I said the nice guy has narcissistic entitled qualities.
Okay, maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
There's a difference between tendencies and being a full-blown narcissist. in this regard.
Right. No,
Like,
exactly.
everybody
Yeah.
has narcissistic
There's tendencies, and then there's clinical diagnosis or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And those tendencies are obviously human.
Mm,
You don't think so?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of nice guys get fucked over by women where they were actually being nice guys.
Were they being
Yeah,
nice
no.
guys, or were they being too kind?
No, there's some people that are just generally nice, and they just
Yeah,
do things out of the
so that's
kindness of their heart.
I guess I think a lot of people would have the problem with the terminology "nice guy." I understand how it's being used, and I don't disagree with it. But to me, a male feminist is the guy who, he's the leftist down the corner that thinks that that while he is not, while he is, he can't because, he doesn't actually have a job that pays him any real money. Or he has a really good job where he's able to deduct everything. He thinks that you should pay your share so that women everywhere can take 6 months off for maternity leave.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who believes that men deserve paternity leave because, why not?
Well, that sounds like a fucking government bootlicking motherfucker to me. But
I think it's kind of the same fucking thing.
Maybe
A night guy has an issue with entitlement. If you don't feel entitled to anything, that you don't have this like covert contract where you feel like you deserve this because you did this for somebody. A nice guy struggles with that a lot.
And he's not going to back women that actually have issues. Right? Like women that actually have issues that that they're trying to solve, you don't have any time for that. Now, women that are whining and crying and bitching and screaming about how, oh my God, my life sucks so bad. I walked out on my loving, caring husband and just fuck that guy. And I took the kids and now I'm living in a hotel and I don't know how I'm gonna have enough money to pay till the end of the week. Can someone please help me? And that motherfucker will be there every single fucking time. As a matter of fact, not only will he be there, he will be trying his hardest to take money out of your pocket, my pocket, Michelle's pocket, and Arthur Dia's pocket, and everybody's fucking pocket to make sure that woman has everything she needs because of the mean, cruel men in the world. He'll never once take the word of a man over the word of a woman.
Yeah, he's always going to appeal to the woman, and he's always going to never let her face her accountability. He'll help do whatever they can to avoid accountability.
Right, and it's not something that it's not. Well, I think when they're young, I do think that a lot of it is just that they're just chasing pussy, and this is the easiest way they find to get some smelly hippie pussy. But it becomes a lifestyle for these fuckers. They'll be old, married, and fucking gray, and I swear that they will literally take every feminist talking point to heart, bro.
Well, yeah,
it about the pussy.
You gotta figure.
It was about the pussy way back in the beginning, but it becomes their lifestyle, becomes their identity.
It becomes their ideology because they have lived it so much. They have been doing this to reach this goal of pussy, right?
Oh,
but after doing it for so long, it just becomes them.
So
and they don't even know why.
Let me ask
I think there's more to it. I think the pussy's part of it, but I think it's that sense of entitlement. It's that sense of power they hold. And to be honest with you, I think my biggest problem with male feminists is they feel like they have power over these women, right? Because they're making it happen for you, baby. They're making
Well,
it
look
happen.
at all the
They're voting the way that needs to be voted, baby.
look at all like the male feminists today. Like, okay, R. Kelly was one. P. Diddy was a big male
Sure,
feminist. Look
absolutely.
at these guys are all the most vile and disgusting abusers of women, and they're the ones that do the most damage. You know,
Yeah.
they're the ones that advocate for all that feminism stuff, but then look what they do to the women that they're allegedly advocating for.
So is it possible to be a male to let me back up because started phrasing that wrong. Is it possible to play the role of a male feminist without actually being a male feminist?
I went real quick. I started to derail that. John Mosman, thank you for that quote. That's my favorite quote from Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. You know, like, and talking about Aslan, he's a
Yeah.
fucking lion. Like, of course he's not safe, but he's good. And I love that aspect because that's what men are supposed to be. Men are not supposed to be safe or nice. They're supposed to be good and kind. Big difference.
So you guys, this has been a really good talk tonight. I want to address one last thing before I call for final comments.
Oh shit.
John Deadman, you know, for the most part, I like you. You make some good comments sometimes, but for this evening, for some fucked up reason, you've been fucking up my stream, and I'm about sick of it. So I want to understand: are you over here because Easy has some beef with me that you feel like that you need to fuck around with me? Because I will fuck you up. I will follow you around the internet, and I will make sure that every fucking stream that you go on is fucking miserable. Do you want to fuck with me, John? I'm waiting for a fucking answer.
I don't think it has to do with you, sir.
You keep saying that, but you said that you're an easy bear, and Easy apparently has some fucking problem with me, and he can fuck off, and you can fuck off. If you don't like it, you're welcome to leave. If you want to be a part of the show, if you want to enjoy the content that we create up here and the discussions that we have, you're welcome to. But if you keep fucking up my show, I will fuck you up. It either ends here or you end here. Are we clear on that? John, I'm going to need an answer. Either it ends here and you respect my stream and you do not bring this bullshit in here, or you end here. I don't give a shit what you say about Glenn, but you just kept on, dude, even after I told you to shut the fuck up. All right, well, we either have peace or we have war. I hope you're choosing peace. I hope you're choosing peace, sir.
Hey, Grid.
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Sorry.
No worries. If I might, I kind of just like wanted to add my own perspective to like what I notice is happening with your chat and also Glenn's. I understand that I am not well liked by several people in the community. I understand that they really resent that I am becoming more active in the behind the scenes work. I don't really care that they don't like me. I care that they're messing with your channel.
Mm-hmm.
That bothers me. I'm definitely, I want to see you succeed and I want to help you. Right. I like being here and I really, really like contributing. And so I just wanted to say that, like, you cannot like me, but please do not interfere with the shows that I'm a part of because of it. Thank you.
So, let me put this to rest as well. Look, when you get to a certain, look, I understand if you guys don't understand this. I'm going to put this on the table. You get to a certain point when you're streaming and you need a staff. I don't have time in my day to do everything. And I honestly, this show doesn't generate enough money for me to hire people to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
When I have someone with Michelle's talent come and say, hey, I'll help you. I'm not a big enough I'm a pretty big idiot, but I'm not a big enough fucking idiot to say, no, Michelle, I don't want you to help me because I disagree with your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I've made it really clear since the first day Michelle came on this program. I don't agree with her lifestyle, but it's her fucking life. Any of you guys have a problem with it, you guys can deal with it yourselves because you have the problem and not her. You don't. It's her
Well,
life.
and here's the bigger, I think, issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
How often do we hear about snowflakes and censorship and cancel culture and all this other shit because of something that we don't like or we don't agree, or something the left does not like or does not agree with, right? And then you have this stupid ass fucking hypocrisy where because somebody doesn't agree with Michelle's lifestyle, you can't have a conversation with Michelle for some fucking reason, right? Like, in what world you're practicing exactly what you apparently have a problem with? So quit being hypocritical. I mean, that's first of all.
It is.
The second thing, you're right, is respect. I mean, just respect. There's nothing wrong with. We want people when these panels go on. And I'm speaking for Grid, and I probably shouldn't, but I mean, I run my own shit. I know how it works. Like, we want participation in the chat. But we want participation in the chat, not fucking trolling and fucking closed-minded, bigoted goddamn hate. So participate in the chat or get the fuck out. It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, somebody asked me the other day if morally, if I would enforce my morals on someone else. And I said, no, it'd be fucking wrong. And they had a really hard time understanding that even though I'm a Christian, even though that I'm all of these things, I don't give a fuck what anyone else does. It's not my place to. It's immoral for me to enforce my values on you. And it's worse for people that disagree with someone's values to do it. It just is. I don't care how you view it. If you don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't agree with Glenn on a lot of things. Glenn and I literally spend hours on the phone going back and forth. But he's still my friend. He's still my buddy.
And I win each argument. He just doesn't like to admit it.
He doesn't. You know what? The thing is I give Glenn a lot of free therapy for free. It's okay.
I agree. I'll agree to that. That's true.
This whole
here's the other thing. Like, okay, just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you're supposed to share the good news. Right? Go share the gospel. Read the gospel. Not force people to accept or die or accept or be ostracized. It is to share the good news. Once you share it, and when you're sharing it with people and they choose not to accept it, that's on them.
Yeah,
that's their life.
I say it all the time. You're the one going to hell, not me. I can only do so much.
That's their life. They get to choose that for themselves.
And as far as Michelle goes, Michelle did an excellent job helping Sarah go from 20 people in the chat, 10 people in the chat to 80, 100. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. It wasn't long ago we had 80 to 100 people in this chat, and we held it 60, right around 60 tonight, which was good for Wednesday night. But I need all the help I can get, and unless you're willing to stand up and man up and stand a post, shut the fuck up. Because Michelle's willing to come in. We're not willing to come in. Michelle's willing to put time in. Michelle is willing to help, and she's up here as a co-host right now. Which, all right, look, she didn't cam up. She doesn't even have a real avatar. That's cool.
She did when I first
I
came
did.
in. To be fair,
Yeah.
She did,
Here's
yeah.
the- here's
She
the other
got she
thing.
got kicked out, and then it didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't give it back to her. So
Yeah.
it
Here's the other thing. Michelle doesn't even advocate for her lifestyle.
right.
Like she's very much against her lifestyle.
I can 100% disagree with your right to live and still have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
So you guys need to get over that shit. And
yeah,
John,
you don't have to accept someone's lifestyle or anything else to be able to have a fucking discussion or even listen to a fucking discussion. And the whole time I've been here, there's been nothing related to Michelle's lifestyle or degeneracy or on any personal person on this panel's behalf or anything else that's even fucking been discussed. So I don't understand. The only things that have derailed has basically been personal bullshit back and forth, fucking disrespect in the chat at not adhering to the conversations being had on the stream. There's nothing wrong with people out there in the chat having their own side conversations in the chat and stuff like that. That happens. And as hosts, we have to just kind of gloss over those and ignore those. But, this whole space is just weird.
So let me
dude.
put a bow on
So
it for
weird.
everyone. Let me put a bow on it for everyone. If you have a problem with Michelle, that's totally fucking fine. Leave it at the fucking door. Don't mention it in my chat. Don't ask me if Michelle has control over my stream, because she doesn't. Although I did give her the keys to the back door so she can come in and clean up, which I need.
Well, she's a woman.
I really don't think that was the best word.
I don't care.
It's fine. I got him. I got your back, buddy.
But you guys just leave that shit somewhere else. Okay? Don't bring it in here. I'll go. Yeah, look, I'm a known quantity. I will go after. Wrongful Rage coming in at the last minute super chat.
Wrongful Rage donated $19.99 super chat. Remember, you can't stop and roll in hell. So you better make damn sure you've done did right and get ready for a wild ride through the bramble bush of life anyways.
I like that. That's right. You can't stop, drop, and roll in hell. You're just going to burn. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Beautiful.
Lane Changer says, when I came to watch these panels, I judged you from what I see now. Whatever her or any others passes their pass has nothing to do with me. So, Michelle, I say, who cares? Right. Look, Michelle's a good person. And that's bottom line. So just leave that shit at the door. I don't want to hear any more about it.
Yeah, I think it's petty. It's stupid.
It is. We'll start with Glenn. Let's get those final comments and words. It's I'm about to turn into a pumpkin over here.
You could be a simp and not even simp for women. You could simp for an ideology that you're trying to virtue signal. You're still a simp. Don't be a simp. Stand for what you believe, but then at the same time, just focus on the mistakes that you have to deal with and you have to address in your life. Everybody has demons they have to battle. So how about you focus on finding solutions to overcoming the demons you face? Stop worrying about someone else's demons that they play with.
That's solid. I like that. Clover.
So, Mr. Boulay had made a high point joke earlier. His head will explode when I tell him I'm actually looking forward to checking out the large format high point pistols. Large format. That sounds kind of weird, don't it, coming from High Point? But here in I don't know a little over a week at SHOT Show. I think we leave out next week, so maybe we can talk about that at some point. I know you'd probably be interested. As for parting words of wisdom, I would say buckle down, focus on doing man shit. And when you focus on doing man shit, a good woman is probably going to rub your shoulders and maybe other things too.
Solid. I like it a lot. Michelle?
I say fuck off, everybody.
What's that?
I say fuck off, everybody.
Fuck off, everybody. All right. That's a.
Now get off grid's lawn.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So my final thoughts are: look, guys, Renaissance men need to make a comeback. Got a pussification of the entire fucking world. Need to get over that. Get beyond that. Modern Renaissance men are possible. They just need to get their shit together, make it happen. Even if I called you out, such as John Deadman, doesn't mean I don't like you. You're not welcome. You just have to follow the fucking rules. Leave that shit at the door. If you do that, it's all good in the hood, baby. We'll just roll with it. It's been an interesting night. Looking forward to tomorrow afternoon. We're going to talk some politics. We're going to talk some money stuff. We're going to talk business. We're going to do all of that. And I look forward to that. And by the way, I actually like having women in the audience, and I like having women on the show. And if we can't act as gentlemen enough to encourage and create an atmosphere where women are welcome, if you don't feel like you can get behind that, well, you can just fuck right off, because that's what's going to happen here. At any rate, I'm going to send you over to another stream to have some fun and enjoy stuff. And you guys can, as always, be cool, wear glasses if you need them. Get the fuck off my...
I am everywhere. I am inside each and every single one of you. You just look in, and I will be there. Waving out at you. Naked. Wearing only